Don't buy another pair of glasses until you've seen what this new invention.
Let's talk about ivermectin. For decades,
Since we're going to be talking about preparing. Hello everyone and welcome to another Tinfoil Spotlight. How's everyone doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. We have an interesting gentleman to take a look at today. I found out about this guy literally today. My plan originally was to do a Tinfoil Spotlight generally on perpetual energy and perpetual motion devices, which are a pretty common thing that pops up in conspiracy communities. The idea that some inventor made an infinite energy device and they don't want you to know about it. However, I happened to come across this specific guy. His name is Maxwell Chikumbutso, and he is from, where is he from? What? Zimbabwe. Thank you, computer. He's from Zimbabwe, and he has claimed to invent, again, basically a perpetual motion device. He's also attached it to a car and a helicopter and claimed that he can make them run just off his energy device. So it should be good. It should be good. Don't worry, Trey. I just started. I'm just doing the intro now. So, yeah, his business partners also keep disappearing. Like people who have given him hundreds of thousands of dollars for his fake invention have been poisoned and died. So I don't want to say anything that might get me in trouble, but I do wonder why this man, who was peddling a fraudulent device and getting large amounts of money for it, allegedly, why those people giving him money might be dying. Again, I'm not going to say anything because... But you know, there are dots and maybe you connect them. So, anyway, we're just going to look at this guy today. I don't know, again, a ton about him other than what I've only been able to research today, but we'll check him out. We'll check him out. You say fake, he's as experimental. Indeed. Altered Undying with 100 bits says, yay, Hannah, let's get this party started. Indeedly do. Just a Peach, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. Also, I want to thank, once again, Drops a Lot, Veltwind, and Moss Sloth yesterday for giving me tips. I talked yesterday about how my birthday's coming up Wednesday, and they gave me some tips and stuff, and we were able to go out and get some groceries, including cake mix. So thank you for those tips. I really, really appreciate it. Gonna have a really nice birthday Wednesday. Like I said, I won't be streaming tomorrow for what would typically be Tinfoil Tuesday because I'm scheduled to work like all day tomorrow. But I do have Wednesday off, so I will be doing a Tinfoil on my birthday. We'll be doing a Tinfoil birthday stream. It'll basically be normal Tinfoil Tuesday, just on Wednesday, and it's my birthday. That'll be good. It'll also probably be a little earlier in the day. So, you know, catch the VOD if you can't catch it live. M. Scheffler says, if I only had a Perpetual Bits device, that would be nice. It would be nice. So, yeah, let's get into it. Don't think I have anything else going on other than if you want to support the channel, consider tipping, gift subbing, or super chatting. All right, let's go.
Chikumbutso, the Zimbabwean inventor who claims to have created a free energy vehicle powered by radio frequencies, has been making headlines in his home country and across Africa.
Yeah, he's basically his main invention. And you'll notice he's basically stealing an idea from Iron Man here. He's basically claiming to invent sort of like an infinite energy device that's very small and can generate tons of energy. Now, the way he's claiming this works is that basically, you guys know how there's electromagnetic radiation everywhere on Earth, virtually, right? You know, it's just bouncing around, you know? He's claiming that his device basically harnesses this energy that's just ambient and uses it. Now, if you know anything about, like, energy and how, like, the density of said energy matters, you'll immediately recognize that no, you cannot draw ambient energy from around you and have enough to power a vehicle. If he could do that, guess what? We would have already done it. You can't do that. So, yeah, let's just watch this. And to be clear, he's not talking about solar power. Obviously, solar power is a thing. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about, like, radio waves, basically. And you can't get enough energy from that to make a car move. Ashley One Up says, hello, I'm a Nigerian prince with an investment opportunity for you. Sold! Absolutely sold. Say no more. Say less. There. My fish head is on. The contract is complete.
But why hasn't his invention broken the internet the way it would have if Elon Musk had unveiled something similar? Let me give you some.
To be clear, this guy's probably about as legitimate as Elon Musk. That doesn't bode very well for this guy.
Some of my reasons, but feel free to comment on some of your reasons. If you are not aware, this brilliant young Zimbabwean inventor officially launched his groundbreaking free energy vehicle on February 10th, and it's now available for purchase. His innovation is a microscopic.
It was not, in fact, available to purchase. To be clear, literally claiming that this car is running on, like, radio waves.
Energy device that Chikumbutso designed, which converts naturally occurring radio frequencies into pure, usable energy. Unlike solar panels or electric batteries, this device doesn't rely on sunlight or periodic charging, but instead it taps into the endless supply of radio waves that surround us every day, transforming them into a continuous and infinite power source. This means the vehicle can operate indefinitely without the need for fuel.
Like, even when Tesla was on this wireless energy shit, even he understood you needed to generate it and transmit it. You couldn't just get it from ambient, like, radio waves. Just so bad.
Charging or any external input. But so far, this invention has not received a lot of
power a small radio with it, though. It's called a crystal radio receiver. Yes, and that's actually part of sort of a Mott and Bailey he does when he's questioned about this. People will be like, hey, that doesn't work. And he'll be like, ha, people are saying you can't generate power from radio waves, but look at this thing, and then he'll talk about something like a crystal radio receiver, not pointing out that that's not what they're saying. They're not saying it's literally impossible to generate any power through radio waves. It is hypothetically possible, but not in large amounts that would be practical to do anything large with. And that's the crux of a lot of this scam, is he takes a principle that exists, and then he applies it completely incorrectly.
Of attention outside of
You can't generate sufficient power to run a vehicle. Yes, that's a succinct way to say it.
Zimbabwe, and I think these are some of the reasons. One of the biggest hurdles Maxwell faces is skepticism.
Oh, this is hilarious too. This is so funny. This is one of his generators that he, I believe he showed this to like the Zimbabwean president, and he brought this with him. Wow, looks pretty fancy, doesn't it? Look at this generator he invented. Oh wait, that's actually a Browie portable power station with a built-in solar panel that you can buy on Amazon right now for $474.99. It's literally the same model. You can literally see it's the same. This is the same thing he's showing as if he invented it. But you can go buy it on Amazon, and it's by a company that is not him. Want to point that out.
His claims of creating a car that runs on radio waves, requiring no fuel or recharging, have been met with doubt from scientists, engineers, and even some within his own country. Critics argue that his invention defies the laws of physics, especially
Yeah, that's a pretty good critique.
the first law of thermodynamics, which states that energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. Maxwell's device, which supposedly converts ambient radio frequencies into usable energy to power a vehicle, raises questions about where this energy is coming from. If the device is generating more energy than it's taking in from radio waves, it would violate this
That's a good price your generator can run your fridge, though. Yeah, this thing is less of like it's more like a camping thing. Like if you were camping and you really needed emergency power, this isn't like for powering your whole house. This is like, oh, I'm camping and want to be able to charge some stuff, or maybe run like a small electronic device for a while. This isn't like a hardcore generator. I wish I had. That shit's awesome.
Mental law. Maxwell has not provided a clear explanation of how his technology
Greyline says, so is the Zimbabwe government listening to energy scams just a thing? Politicians in Zimbabwe take bait on rock fuel. President Robert, oh god damn it, don't make me, oh, okay, there is an X. Sorry, I'm used to news sites being like, you can't read our news site unless you give us $2 or sign up for our email list. I hate that. President Robert Mugabe has said ministers at his cabinet meeting he chaired agreed to pay 2 head of cattle and 3 buffaloes to a woman who claimed she could produce gasoline out of rocks, the official media reported Friday. Mugabe later ordered the woman's arrest on fraud charges. Herald newspaper, a government mouthpiece, reported the woman claiming to be a tribal healer, known in the West as a witch doctor, also took large sums of money from the nation's highest-ranking politicians, promising in return to use spells to produce diesel fuel from rocks. Instead of invoking spirits, the woman brought diesel and piped it into the rocks, the newspaper reported. We are not going too hard on her. We just want the truth and to know who put her up to such things, the state media quoted Mugabe as saying. I don't think she needed to be put up for it. You gave her stuff. She did it to get money from you, or I guess in this case, livestock, which, you know, is a value. God damn it. I guess their government's just easily scammed. I don't know why. You have a friend who uses one for a CPAP machine when camping? Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a great idea.
technology circumvents this principle. Some speculate that his device might be tapping into an unknown or unconventional energy source, while
It's not.
others believe
And hey, fun fact, if it was, he should demonstrate that.
it could be a misinterpretation of how the energy is being harnessed. Until Maxwell provides a detailed scientific explanation or allows independent testing, the skepticism surrounding his invention will persist. But this skepticism isn't unique to Maxwell. African inventors often face an uphill battle when it comes to gaining
What is this picture of? Oh, God. Oh god, it's like an arm. Okay, it's like an arm that he can bring to his face. Okay. Alright. Okay.
Gaining global trust. The narrative that groundbreaking innovations can only come from Western countries like the US or
Not only you just need to demonstrate it. Like, I would completely believe that there's a global bias against, like, stuff in Africa for, like, latent colonialist and racist reasons. But also, like, you need to be able to demonstrate the thing. And we're at the point with, like, engineering and science where there was this time that I think people think of when they think of, like, an inventor, like 100 to 200 years ago, where, like, the age of reason was really kicking off, you know? And people were learning how to empirically test things. So individual people could do, relatively by our standards today, do simple tests and come up with, like, these really new ideas that turned out to be true, because for the first time they had the tools to test things. But the thing is, we've solved a lot of those problems that are one person, you know, in their, you know, house testing a thing with, you know, a prism, you know? Most technological innovations these days don't come out of individual people. They come out of, like, organizations, labs, like, stuff like that, companies. It's really hard to find something that you can do with one person and create a brand new thing. Really tough thing to do.
Europe is deeply ingrained. When an African inventor claims to have achieved something extraordinary, the default reaction is often disbelief. Let's be honest.
The low-hanging science fruit has been picked. Yes, that's basically what I'm trying to say. Thank you for saying it in a better way.
If Elon Musk had announced a car powered by radio waves that would be ready by 2035, the world would be in a frenzy.
I would hope not, but again, people believe a lot of the bullshit Elon Musk says. To be clear, whether the guy we're covering today says it or Elon Musk says it, this is a fraudulent claim. This is a nonsense claim. And if people did believe Elon, it wouldn't be because the other guy was disadvantaged. It would be because, unfortunately, a lot of people have an inherent trust towards the wealthy, which is fucked up.
Headlines would dominate every major news outlet, and social media would explode with discussions. But when Maxwell Chikumbutso makes the same claim of a product that is available today without any promises that never come true like Elon Musk, the reaction is more of, nothing serious is happening over there. Why? Because the world still struggles to see African inventors as equals in the global innovation race. There's a subconscious bias that assumes African inventors lack the resources, education, or infrastructure to create something revolutionary.
I mean, the infrastructure is a big deal. Like, that's not anything taking a shot at anyone. Infrastructure is something that's materially necessary for many advancements. That's why advancements happen, you know, faster and faster, because the more infrastructure you have to allow you to do stuff. I don't know, man.
This bias is unfair and harmful. It suppresses innovation and discourages talented individuals in Africa from pursuing their ideas, unless they move to America or Europe. Maxwell's story is a perfect example of how African inventors are often overlooked, even when their work has the...
He really isn't, and I'm sure there are tons of, like, brilliant, underappreciated people in Africa who don't get, like, the respect and opportunities they deserve because of, again, colonialism and the results of it. And I think people should, like, be helped, and there should be programs and stuff. The kind of stuff that Trump tried to block funding for, to help lift people and give them opportunity. But that doesn't mean that this in particular guy isn't a scammer. This guy is part of the problem. This guy makes it harder for people with real smarts, with real ideas to find those opportunities, because scam artists like this are sucking all the attention out of the room.
Potential to change the world. Another reason Maxwell's invention hasn't gone viral is the lack of visibility outside Zimbabwe.
Again, there's that thing that's just this generator from Amazon. He literally just bought it, and he's acting like he invented it.
While he has demonstrated his technology to Zimbabwean President Emerson Mnangagwa and local media, there's been no independent verification or demonstration on a global stage. Maybe now that his product is available to be purchased, we could see some independent experts testing it and letting us know if it's real or just a scam. Like Terry Makasi claims on YouTube that extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. Chikumbutso's claims over the years keep getting more spectacular. The evidence remains at the stage of here is a PowerPoint slideshow. For a technology to gain worldwide recognition, it needs to be tested and validated by independent experts. Elon Musk companies like Tesla and SpaceX regularly invite journalists, scientists, and engineers
That's such a bad example because they fake shit too.
To witness their innovations firsthand. Maxwell, on the other hand, has yet to...
Let's get to another video on him. Something hopefully that isn't AI. There is this guy who seems pretty obsessed with him. Let's see.
Zimbabwean inventor Maxwell Chikumbutso is back after going AWOL for a few years, at least from our standpoint. Now, it's been a minute since we saw Maxwell Chikumbutso. The elusive inventor finally made an appearance at the State House where he met Zimbabwe President Edi Mnangagwa, allaying all the fears that he was dead. In case you didn't know, Maxwell was poisoned in the United States.
To be clear, I believe he visited the United States in 2020. So I don't know if he was actually poisoned, or if he was claiming he was poisoned after going to the hospital for maybe COVID. Just a thought.
Because some people were threatened by his inventions, he actually revealed to the president of Zimbabwe that his business partner succumbed to the poisoning.
We were poisoned at that time. Dr. Teddy didn't make it. He died in January 2017. I survived by the grace of God.
Now he's saying it's 2017. I saw earlier 2020. Maybe he did kill his partner.
Maxwell Chikumbutso was at the State House to unveil, or maybe let me say, pre-unveil his self-powered car, or more accurately, a microsonic energy-powered motor vehicle, a racing electric motorbike, and a generator.
Again, that's an off-the-shelf generator.
The vehicle, it uses what we call the microsonic energy device. The microsonic energy device, it is the device that I personally invented in 2009.
He personally invented it.
Harness radio frequencies, converted it into energy. As you know, radio frequencies, they are measured in nanovolts, meaning to say they are less than a volt. They are just like nothing. But we find a way of harnessing it through the
I don't even see where his device is supposed to be. That's just the battery for the car. Like, that's just the normal battery for the car, right? This is just the car, like, as it comes, like, from the dealership. Is he claiming? Is he just claiming his invention is in here somewhere? Okay, cool.
For the 70% of the components in the microsonic energy, which I've tailor-made, which I've designed.
Microsonic energy is what he calls it, by the way.
So those are the components that...
Which doesn't even make sense, because it's claiming it comes from radio waves, which isn't sonic. Sonic is sound. So it doesn't even make sense to call it microsonic.
That enable the radio frequency to be transferred into pure, useful energy. And this is the first time in the world. With that technology, it violates the laws of energy in thermodynamics, and also the first law of energy as well.
So they wanted to arrest him.
What did he say about the law of energy?
So the technology, it violates the laws of energy in thermodynamics in the world. With that technology, it violates the laws of energy in...
He's literally saying it violates the law of energy.
In thermodynamics, and also the first law of energy as well.
So they wanted...
Overthought says no, Sonic is a big titty creature that sings 80s hits. That was one video!
To arrest him for changing physics.
Yeah, yes. Even when we tried to file a patent, they said we were violating the natural laws of physics.
Yeah, they wouldn't let him patent his device, because I don't know if you know this, at least in the United States, it probably varies by country. In the United States, they literally have a rule in the patent office against accepting patents for perpetual motion devices, because they get a lot of them, because there are a lot of crackpots and scammers out there. And it's just like, it's an objective fact of reality that perpetual motion devices do not exist. They cannot exist. They just can't.
So it's not an industrial applicable. We decided to take the trade secret route after that. So with this car, you can also use it to power your house. It is a moving generator. When you drive from work back to your home, you can connect your power cable, then you can power your house. It gives you 15 kilowatts power to power your house. And the vehicle itself, it has got 160 kilowatts electric motor, which gives you a torque of about 320 to 380 newton meters of torque. That means it's fast. And we are talking of horsepower of around 215 horsepower. So when we compare...
I don't know how much horsepower that is. How much horsepower does a car normally have? He says it has 215 horsepower.
This car with the same cars of this model, like the Toyota Urban Cruiser, you will see that this is efficient in everything. When you talk of load, our car, it doesn't weigh much. It weighs 1,405 kgs only. When you talk of an Urban Cruiser, you're talking of about 1,800.
Ashley, one up with 50 bits and a link. Lisa, in this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics!
I know. And this perpetual motion machine she made today is a joke. It just keeps going faster and faster. Lisa, get in here. In this house, we obey the laws of thermodynamics.
So that means you can carry extra baggage in the vehicle. Top speed is 220 kilometers per hour. Yeah, which is fast. It has got two driving modes. We have got the sport mode, which will give you 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in around 2 seconds. That is very, very powerful. Then we've got what we call a normal driving mode. When you want to drive like in town, you can select that one so that it won't give you a lot of torque.
Although critics are arguing that the generator already exists.
Oh
Now-
my god, they literally showed it! It does! What? Then why are you talking about him? He's a scammer! He's scamming! He's straight scamming.
Now, the microsonic energy-powered vehicles will officially be launched by the President of Zimbabwe on the 10th of February 2025. Now, the highlight of the pre-unveiling was obviously the car, which he made in collaboration with the Chinese automaker. According to Chikumbutso,
By that, do you mean he literally bought a Chinese electric car and is just pretending he made it?
he partnered with Chinese car maker Kai to make the car, which is called the Kai Seith. Now, Chikumbutso says the car has unlimited driving range.
Yeah, he says that. Let's see him get in it and drive for 1,000 miles.
It does not need any charging. It just works just like that. And
Like,
it
he
can-
wouldn't even need, like, he literally wouldn't even need for that to, like, submit it for testing for anyone else. He would just need to turn on a camera and drive. And just keep driving. That's all he would need to do. Ugh.
hit a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour, as well as it can power your house just like a Tesla. So according to Chikumbutso, the deal is Kai provided the vehicle and he basically installed the microsonic motor into the vehicle. The Kai Seith, according to Chikumbutso, costs $14,000 a unit to make. Now, those are some bold claims, and some Zimbabweans have called his bluff, but according to him, it's the real deal and he's actually challenging you on that. Now, I didn't know this, but it's actually the president of Zimbabwe who is funding Maxwell Chikumbutso. According to him, he actually invited him back from the United States to Zimbabwe.
Yeah. All this from the time he began doing these things, I've been supporting him
Yes.
throughout. Yeah, he was making television at my house.
Good to know we're not the only country whose president is an absolute dipshit. A little nice.
And they can have a television, and there's no wire. You can
So
listen to
Tesla can't power a house. I do think they have an option where you can use it like a generator for a certain amount of time. Like if you have like the plug, basically, if you don't know, when you have a generator, you're supposed to, if you want to plug it into the main power supply of your house, have a special plug basically put in. And you can, like, I think, plug certain Teslas into that and power your house for a certain period of time.
all stations which we want on tarmac.
Now, Maxwell Chikumbutso also announced that he's planning to launch or unveil his products in China, the United States, Switzerland, and Nigeria. Plus, there are also plans to build an assembly plant in Zimbabwe. Now, here's what I think.
Doesn't even make sense because he's not even claiming he invented the whole car. He's saying he invented, like, the little device. So why would you need a full assembly plant? You wouldn't be building the cars there.
If this invention is the real deal, then Chikumbutso is in line to become one of the richest people on the planet.
I'm rich, I'm good looking, my dad owns the company.
Now, I'm not saying his inventions are real or not, but you gotta give it to the man for consistency. Imagine.
No, you don't. You do not, in fact, have to give it to the scam artist for continuing to scam. What is wrong with you? The person who made this video should be ashamed of himself. He has 60,000 subscribers. This video has 213,000 views. And he's acting like there's some sort of question as to whether or not this is real. It's not. It's fake. You are so irresponsible for putting this out there and giving the illusion that there is some balance here.
Pushing a scam for over 10 years. That's highly unlikely, right? But then again, this time around, I wish that he would invite professionals or scientists to come and critique his work to see if it's actually genuine. Because he says it's genuine. Because think about it.
Well, he says it. People never just say things for money. People just saying things for money? People never do that. People never... What, you think people just go out here and lie? For money? No one ever lies for money. People have too much faith in other people. Stop it. Be a little more cynical. I'm not telling you to be negative, but Jesus fucking Christ. For 5 seconds. Stop being a rube.
A car that you don't need to put fuel into. It runs perpetually, forever, with no sort of energy given to it. That is like a huge feat, and that is likely to make him a lot of money. So we are waiting for the 10th of February to see the products that he's unveiling to the world. And hopefully he invites the media and other professionals to come and check out his work right now. What do you think? Do you think Maxwell Chikumbutso's inventions are fake or they're real? Leave a comment down below. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up.
Ashley1up with 50 bits says, "My name is Hannah. I've never lied for money, and Nazis leave on the moon." Your typo made it so that doesn't even mean anything. They live on the moon? What does that mean exactly? Check your spelling. This guy talks about him a lot, by the way. Don't know why. Don't know why.
So, Maxwell Chikumbutso's invention.
I like his jacket. This looks like a jacket your character would wear in Watch Dogs. You see, if you played Watch Dogs or Watch Dogs 2.
It's fake. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Marston, the Zimtech guy. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you do eventually end up liking the video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you like the work that I do on this channel, please consider partnering with me on Patreon, like these rockstar Patreons. So, are Maxwell Chikumbutso's inventions fake? That's the question that I've been getting on my last video that I posted about Maxwell
Yeah, he connected his bullshit to a TV.
Chikumbutso. That, along with many other questions. So, in this video, I'll attempt to answer some of those questions. Personally, I feel like his inventions are in fact genuine. Now, imagine starting a
Speaking of liking this video, if you're on YouTube, like my video, please.
company in 2009, and close to 14 years later, the company is still operational, and you're dealing with fake products. Try
What? There are companies all the time that exist for long periods while shilling fake products or bullshit products. MLMs exist. Theranos was a thing. I would argue Tesla to an extent because so much of their valuation isn't based on their actual business, but the claims of future business and revenue streams by Elon with his like full self-driving claims and autonomous robotics claims. Like, what are you talking about? Companies exist off of fraudulent products all of the goddamn time. That's an insane statement.
By doing that in the real world, you won't succeed. But anyway, don't take my word for it. Actually, the beauty about Maxwell Chikumbutso is...
Also, I want to point out when he says, oh, he's been running a business for 14 years and it's still around, it's literally just him going around and scamming people. I don't think he has a bunch of employees he's keeping on the payroll. How hard is it to keep a company going together when you're literally just you doing stuff? As long as he can put food in his belly and a place to sleep, he's the business. It'll keep running until he goes to prison. Ultimate Undying says, my kid is the best. She told me your cousin is starting a cult. He's actually just hanging with his friend.
Inventions is that when it comes to his...
Yeah, a lot of supplement companies. Yeah.
Off-grid generator.
Remember, right, head on, apply directly to the forehead. Head on, apply directly to the forehead. The, like, headache medicine ads that were on TV a bunch decades ago, that was an outright scam. And that was a popular product. What's the thing that people fucking buy when they're gonna go on airplanes? Because it gives them a bunch of vitamin C. Airborne, that shit doesn't do anything. Airborne doesn't do shit. Like, what? Like, come on! People buy scams all the time!
Team of engineers from the United States came into the country, which is Zimbabwe, tested these technologies, and verified that it was in fact genuine.
So nothing unusual, but
the magnetic bracelets, yep. We could sit here all day and name scam products. We get it.
The main point is that a meter away there's no frequencies being transmitted from a microwave tower next to the park we're standing in.
And I'm sure this cuts across all his other inventions. The question that I probably see, or the biggest question mark for me, is why is it that when it comes to inventions that are coming from Africa or technologies that are emanating from Africa, there's always like a lot of questions. You never hear it when...
There are questions anytime anyone introduces any invention. The thing is, he's not answering the questions.
Let's say people in Asia or in Europe, other parts of the world, they don't get questioned the way that things are questioned when it's in regard to Africa. Perhaps the biggest problem is that Maxwell Chikumbutso happens to have been brought up from Africa, and that's why so many questions are being asked. Now, his technology...
Or because he's claiming to have a perpetual motion machine, which nobody has.
He's been displaying them for the world to see for such a long time, and if you want it, especially when he did it...
You talked a coworker out of getting a piercing today that her sister told her would make her immune to migraines? Oh, Jesus. When did everyone become, super gullible? Like, what happened in the last, like, 10 years? Is this normal? It just feels like everyone's fallen for obvious scams and misinformation constantly.
These presentations, you could actually critique, go check out the technologies for yourself. So, in short, his technologies are in fact genuine. So the other question I was getting from, I take it these are guys who are probably in the tech and scientific field. They were actually arguing that you cannot harness power from radiomagnetic waves. Well, this is what Maxwell Chikumbutso had to say.
Looking at radio frequencies, when people, the ordinary person wants to know, what's this radio frequency that you are harnessing, where does it come from, and is it not finite? Will we not have this machine and one day not have radio frequencies to harness?
You know...
is that really the question they have? Will we not run out of radio frequencies? Oh.
When God created the earth,
Look up daith piercing. Earring. Hold on. Ear piercing that passes through the ear's innermost cartilage fold, the crux of the helix. Ah, that looks painful. Cute, though. Funny that people think that would do so. Why does someone think that would do anything for migraines?
you put some electromagnetic frequencies.
I'm sure someone just said it. I know. Whenever I want to get to the bottom of things, sometimes the answer is just someone just said it once and other people repeated it.
Better known. I think if you had a number of guys from NASA, when they are going to the moon, they've got a challenge of passing through some microwave frequency energy. So we are taking what God has created. Unfortunately, we have classified the frequency, the particular frequency that we are using for some security reasons. As you know, that we failed to file a patent because they said we were violating the laws of physics, so it's not industrial applicable. Because of that, we went the trade secret route, where we took some pieces of the machine and classified them as trade secrets, just like what Coca-Cola did.
The next question.
That's so funny. He's saying he had to change the patent to get it patented by hiding the pieces that were impossible. AKA basically fraud? Okay.
I was getting was, why isn't he getting support from
From what you were able to find, the original claim came from someone claiming to be a master of acupuncture. Well, there you go. Midnight says, I blame Gen Z. They messed up everything. JK. Yeah. I'm not gonna... I know you're joking. You said JK, but I'm not gonna get caught up in the cycle of blaming youth.
government or other business people in the country? This is what Maxwell had to say.
Have you been supported locally? Do you think you've been supported adequately here in the country? And if so, how? If not, what else would you have expected?
You know, it's sad, but that is I think it's a painful reality of life. Most of these inventors or people who achieve some other things, they are not recognized in their countries.
Morning
yes,
to you, Goblins.
I would want to say that I did not get the support that I thought I would get. I've been to Zimbabwe Science and Technologies, so many institutes. I never got any form of support, being moral.
You didn't get any formal support from any actual lab. Boy, I wonder why. William Shakespeare, thanks for a 7-stream streak, says I'll always be in the cycle of blaming white people, though.
Technical, not necessarily mean I was looking for financial support, no. But you see that God brought people from outside the country. The first person that I worked with, like I said, was Zek Wazara. I thank God for him. He did quite a lot. Then later on, I worked with the late Dr. Teddy De Almeida. He was an Angolan. He is the first person who helped me in a bigger way, to say. And his partner, Mr. Luis Kupenala. Then he passed on in 2017. We were recognized in the United States of America, to say, like I have said, you have seen the Americans, they had to come to Zimbabwe. They flown in their scientists. They did a validation. They confirmed the machine is working. They started to help us. We never got that kind of recognition or support here in Zimbabwe. As far as I'm concerned, we have got a number of very educated people. Yes, I thank God for few people. The Vice Chancellor for it, he sits on my board, he's my advisor, Engineer Quinto.
This set is sort of first of all, this has nothing to do with his scam. This is everything to do with the weird production of this, like, news show he's on. First of all, weird music in the background constantly. Second of all, weirdly spaced far up. Well, I guess it's from COVID, so maybe this is during COVID. That's fine then that they're far apart. But, like, the big thing on the wall, and the walls on the left and right have those big screens too, so it looks like weirdly dystopian.
He's one of a kind, like I'm saying. he came to me. He started to guide me how best I would perfect my technologies. But when you look at a country like Zimbabwe, with a lot of educated people, he was the only one who came. Not even the government came to support. So I think we need to start support our own. It's not easy. This journey has been very long. Sometimes we don't need money as investors. We just need, as inventors, to say, we just need moral support. We just need maybe guidance.
Perhaps the biggest question I was getting was, is he still alive? The short answer is yes. So the other question that I was getting was from people who wanted to buy his self-powered TV or some of his other inventions. And some were saying they really wanted to invest in Maxwell. So the best thing for you guys is to just get in touch with him directly on his Instagram.
Oh God, he's telling people to fucking go give him money. Fuck this guy. Who else does this guy cover? Does this guy cover a bunch of people?
These are...
What is he doing? Ugh. Where to buy Maxwell Chikumbo's inventions? Oh my God! He talks about him often. Let's see, where do we buy his inventions? I'm sure this is very legitimate.
If you're planning on buying any of Maxwell Chikumbutso's inventions...
Yeah, he's got to be getting kickbacks. He's got to be getting some sort of, like, affiliate something along those lines.
I have some good news and some bad news. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Now, this is exclusive. I was just talking to the CEO of Maxwell Chikumbutso's company, Faith Technologies. Faith.
Is that him? Is he not the CEO of his own company?
Who gave me an update concerning when and where you can buy Maxwell Chikumbutso's inventions. Now, let me start with the bad news. The bad news is that you might need to wait just a little while longer to buy Maxwell Chikumbutso's gadgets. Now, the good news is that
You said, I thought you said they were out now, sir. Now you might just have to wait a little bit longer.
Currently building a website which should be up pretty soon.
Yeah, the H. Gilbert says the YouTube notifier said it was AJ the Aussie Jesus again. So glad it isn't. Yeah, the YouTube title didn't automatically update like it was supposed to, so I had to change it.
And there you'll be able to place your orders and other inquiries. Now, if you go to safetechnologies.com.
Look at this stock-ass website.
You will see that the website is still under construction. Now, I'm not sure if that's the one customers will be placing orders on, but what is interesting about the website is that there are 3 categories. Safe Auto, which obviously pertains to his vehicles. Safe Technologies, maybe his generators and stuff, but there is also Safe Defense, which may indicate that
he's starting a defense contractor business? Wow, he really does want to be Iron Man, huh?
Chikumbutso will also be providing solutions for the army, which is pretty interesting. Now, the CEO of
if you didn't see, the tagline on the company was because God said so. So safe, because God said so, like saith. Like so saith the Lord. That's the name of the company, saith.
Technologies also told me that pretty soon they will be sharing official announcements on the inventions. But she stated that those who want to inquire about
I kind of want to email this guy.
partnerships and collaborations can email her using the following email: fmungwari@safetechnologies.com. Now let's just pray that the guys building the website can just speed it up a little bit so that we get to buy Maxwell Chikumbutso's inventions. Now, this is exclusive. If you hear anyone saying this, they probably copied it from this website. If you found this video useful, give it a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.
At minimum, I might want to email them later and just see and pretend I'm, like, interested in investing and see what they say to someone to scam them.
The mafia in the oil industry is more deadly but I've been fighting battles all my life. These are the words of Africa's richest man, Aliko Dangote. There is a reason why anyone who proposes alternative energy ends up losing their lives.
Okay, except that's not true. Except that's not true. Plenty of people talk about alternative energy all the time, and it's a growing field, and the people in it aren't randomly dying all the time. You're literally talking about one person, Nikola Tesla, who wasn't murdered? He wasn't murdered. So what are you talking about?
From Nikola Tesla, Eugene Marlov, and Stanley Meyer.
Oh, Stanley Meyer was another one of these guys that did the scam thing. He built a water-powered car.
Who came up with a vehicle that could run on water. Sadly, he was poisoned at a restaurant while meeting some Belgian investors, in quotes. And you know who else was poisoned? Maxwell Sungulani Chikumbutso, the Zimbabwean inventor behind the self-powered vehicles, appliances.
To be clear, he claims he was poisoned. All we have is a picture of him in the hospital. We do not know why he was in the hospital other than his claims, and we know he is a liar.
And other machinery he claims run on radio waves. Maxwell Chikumbutso was raised in Kuwadzana, a high-density suburb in the western part of the capital, Harare. He had a very tough upbringing, which led him to dropping out of school at Form 2, which is grade 9 in other countries. His big break...
He dropped out of school at 9th grade, just like Tim Pool.
It came at the age of 15 when he converted to Christianity. And soon afterwards, he started seeing visions.
It all happened in 1997. Yeah, 1997. I was 17 years old, and I still remember vividly. It was on the 23rd of September. I was praying in the church at a corner.
Sorry, Tim dropped out of 8th grade, so this guy actually has more education than Tim. My bad.
God visited me, and I heard a voice which says, "Thus said the Lord, I'm going to use you." I was given a scripture which is in the book of Isaiah 49 verse 7, which says, "Thus said the Lord, the Redeemer of Israel is..."
Trey says, if I was poisoned, does that mean my designs for a gun is too powerful? Is that a gun that shoots other guns? Not sure how practical that would be. Guns aren't usually very aerodynamic.
To him whom men despiseth, to him whom the nation abhorreth, to a servant of rulers, kings shall see and arise. Princes also shall worship because of the Lord. That is faithful, and the Holy One of Israel, and he shall choose thee.
Maxwell Chikumbutso started working on the microscope.
I think this is the first time they've actually shown on camera to you guys. I've seen this earlier today. This is his device. This is the device that he's actually claiming to have invented, that he basically plugs into, or says he plugs into, a car or a TV or whatever. This is the device he is claiming is capturing all the radio waves and turning them into usable electricity.
Sonic energy device back in 2003. Though this is his most popular invention.
Mr. Blast says, when I was a kid, stories like this were going around. A guy I went to school with claimed his brother and friend built a car that got 300 miles to the gallon, but the car industry brought the design and hid the technology. Yeah, that's a pretty common urban legend. Yeah.
It is not his only invention. He developed a radio broadcasting machine, which was eventually banned by the Zimbabwean government for operating illegally. He also developed a digital navigation facilitator for the aviation industry that could help planes run optimally when landing. But because he didn't have an educational background, he could not secure funding for it. Fortunately for him, the first working prototype of his microsonic energy device started working in 2009 after enduring health complications. Despite Maxwell trying frantically to get funding, he could not. Eventually, his big break came when Dr. Teddy de Almeida, an Angolan businessman based in South Africa, gave him $500,000 with no strings attached in 20...
I really want to know if he was really given that money. That would be so funny if he was. It would be terrible. I don't want scam artists making money, but I'm gonna be honest. If you're a business person and someone comes to you and says something as ridiculous as I built a perpetual motion machine and you give them $500,000, you deserve to lose that $500,000.
2015. Through that, he came up with his first prototypes: a self-powered car, helicopter, drone, and self-powered generator. These were widely publicized. Despite all this, Maxwell Chikumbutso was heavily criticized by people in the scientific community. He was labeled a scammer. The argument, even to this day, is that his inventions defy the laws of thermodynamics.
Correct, they do. You keep bringing it up. You keep bringing up that they do that, and then you just act like that's an invalid criticism without even explaining why. Why don't they? What new thing is he tapping into? Like, you would need to explain this.
To make matters worse, Maxwell Chikumbutso was arrested in 2018, facing 6 counts of armed robbery.
Oh, is that why he disappeared for a while? Wow, we really burned through that $500,000, didn't he? And did resort to armed robbery within 3 years.
Alongside 5 alleged accomplices, charges he denies to this day. Despite
Okay, then, well, like, why is he bringing it up? This is devastating to your case. Green guy with a $3 tip says, I have a car that gets over 3,000 miles per gallon. I put it on a boat and use a sail. Never have to start the car.
all this, Chikumbutso's work gained the attention of Foster Gamble in 2018. Foster Gamble, the heir of Procter & Gamble Empire and producer of the acclaimed Thrive documentary, came with the scientist Niels Rognerad to Zimbabwe to test out Maxwell Chikumbutso's 500 kilowatt self-powered generator. After weeks of rigorous testing, they concluded that his 500 kilowatt generator was in fact real.
So where's the energy coming from?
We're harnessing it straight away from the natural energy that God has just put in the earth, on our earth. Yeah, the radio frequency.
So nothing unusual, but the main point is that a meter away there's no frequencies being transmitted from a microwave tower next to the park we're standing in.
Despite all this,
you think that's the only way he could fake that?
the media was
It's just not wireless at all.
still against Maxwell Chikumbutso, and getting arrested for armed robbery did not help his cause at all.
Yeah, I bet getting arrested for armed robbery didn't help.
In a quest to get more exposure for his inventions, Maxwell Chikumbutso traveled to the United States of America. He was based in Santa Monica. There he started developing drones. Whilst in America, Maxwell and his business partner, Dr. D. Almeida, were allegedly poisoned. And eventually, Dr. D. Almeida ended up succumbing to the poison. Chikumbutso later returned to Zimbabwe at the invitation of the President of Zimbabwe. In January 2022, Maxwell Chikumbutso unveiled the world's first self-powered TV. And once again, he received backlash from the public. After years away from the
Man, if he doesn't want backlash, he should probably stop lying.
public scene, in 2025,
He claims he has a drone that can fly forever. Wow, once again, you should really demonstrate that by just keeping it up for like 72 hours, however long.
Chikumbutso resurfaced and announced the launch of his self-powered vehicle in conjunction with Kaiyi, a Chinese automaker, a bike, and a portable generator.
Once again, is it in conjunction with, or did he just buy these vehicles and he is claiming that they're magically being run by his device? Because that's the vibe I'm getting, is he just bought these Chinese electric vehicles and is claiming he's powering them with his magic device. No one seems to be checking. He's just saying it. He's just saying it. people, I cannot enough be like, you can't just let people say shit. You can't.
Even when we tried to file a patent, they said we were violating the natural laws of physics. So it's not an industrial applicable. We decided to take the trade secret route after that. So with this car, you can also use it to power your house. It is a moving generator. When you drive from work back to your home, you can connect your power cable, then you can power your house. It gives you 15 kilowatts power to power your house. And the vehicle itself, it has got 160 kilowatts electric motor, which gives you a torque of about 300.
I'm going to skip ahead because we already saw this clip.
Nationally, Chikumbutso once again faced backlash from his own countrymen, even in.
Let's see what this person says. Maxwell Chikumbutso is a snake oil salesman. In his video yesterday, he claims he was high and dry and sold his house and cars because he was broke. He doesn't explain why he didn't sell his private jet. He has a private jet? You see, 5 years ago, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Chikumbutso claimed to have purchased a business jet, a Gulfstream G280. A new G280 cost $25 million. A used one cost around $16 million. Maybe he sold his house and cars and became broke but kept his private jet. So he was lying about having a jet. Makes sense.
Internationally, despite even a reputable institution validating his works.
I think after hearing of his innovations that were disruptive and defying the laws of physics, I made it a point that I visited him, and it led me to his factory and laboratory.
I'm glad they never did a really bad, fourth Back to the Future movie, because I feel like there would have been a bit at some point, and I'm talking in the era of, really bad meta reboots or continuations, where they have to, meta talk about stuff from the original movies, because they definitely would have had a joke about how Doc says, gigawatts instead of gigawatts, and I feel like they would have had him say, gigabytes instead of gigabytes at some point about a computer thing. So I'm glad that movie never got made.
And I was...
Marty, this USB drive is 16 gigabytes!
As disturbed...
We gotta do something about your kids!
Confused as most of the comments that we are seeing today on social media, which regrettably lack any information and are not factual about what is technology.
Maxwell is now ready to sell his inventions to the public.
Man, they keep saying that. That's crazy how they keep saying he's ready to sell it to the public and they just keep not doing it.
Here's a video of a woman using the Wi-Fi detector to discover the hidden camera in what appears to be her Airbnb. And it looks like...
Don't buy another pair of glasses until you've seen what this new invention can
Sorry,
do.
Rumble ads
These
are so bad.
glasses are taking the world by storm. They let you achieve a perfect 20/20 vision at any distance, which means you won't have to visit your eye doctor ever again. They were created by an optician who dedicated his life to providing a solution for myopia, hyperopia, and astigmatism. The story of John Mayer's discovery began 3 years ago after...
Yeah, all the ads on Rumble and BitChute are scams. It's just scams all the way down.
A brief trip into the future with inventor Maxwell Chikumbutso. He's claiming a scientific breakthrough with this green energy technology, an electric car which he says converts radio frequencies into energy.
The powertrain, we did it in-house, which makes it the first electric vehicle in the world that drives without needing recharging systems. On the greener power off-grid machine, it's very unique. For the first time, energy is being generated using a radio frequency and without moving parts.
Chikumbutso is not the typical scientist. He dropped out of school.
He's not a scientist at all.
Aged 14, and says he's developed his blueprints through research and vision.
I think so much of this is based off of cultural myths, too. We have this myth of, the genius boy inventor, or, the autodidactic genius that eschews, you know, typical education avenues and instead revolutionizes the world from the outside of the system. And the reality is that, while those narratives are often interesting, they're not typical, and they don't really happen in this day and age that way. Again, there's just so much institutional knowledge required to make any sort of progress. It's pretty much impossible to train yourself on everything and have the resources to do this kind of thing. It's entirely only believable because of weird myths we have about stuff like this. It's acting like he's Thomas A. Swift, you know?
Visions from God. A showroom in Harare showcases his prototypes. A helicopter that operates using any one of the 5 fuels, including paraffin, a drone and a household transformer that he says can multiply power 100-fold. But he says breaking his disruptive technology into the world has not been easy. He's failed to patent his work.
That's why we end up finding nuclear scientists, electromagnetic professors.
Like the myth that Albert Einstein was bad in school? Yes, that's a pervasive myth for the exact same reason.
So that they can assist us on the patent process. But as you are aware that in patents, anything that violates the laws of physics is not an industrial applicable solution. They classify it as a perpetual motion device.
Luigi Kupenala, a South African-based Angolan businessman, has poured millions into the project, but now believes it's time to commercialize. He says the Angolan government and a Brazil private energy player have signed up to buy some of their products, but that other investors...
I'm really wondering when he's going to get fucked on this, because, like, if he's really received money from investors like this, and it's a lot of money, they're going to want results at some point. Like, he can't just keep lying to them forever. Right? At some point, something bad's gonna happen to him, and at best, he'll end up in jail, right? Like, if you have millionaire investors who have given you millions of dollars, and it turns out you've been lying to them, and they find out, you're gonna be lucky if they call the cops on you. Like, it's not gonna be good.
Don't generally believe anything credible can come out of Africa.
This has nothing to do with the fact that it's from Africa. Don't make this about an Africa thing. I'm fully understanding of, like, the results of colonialism. I get it. This is not about that. This is not about that.
From our skin color. We don't believe on ourselves. But obviously, a new generation has another responsibility to change this kind of paradigm to another level, whereby we have to capitalize on our abilities in Africa.
Zimbabwean scientists who spoke to the SABC also expressed skepticism, but Chikumbutso brushes the naysayers aside. He says he's determined to ensure that his God-given gift brings energy to light up the continent and put Zimbabwe on the technological map. Shingai Nyoka, SABC News, Harare, Zimbabwe.
Oh, that sucks so bad that people fall for this stuff.
This incredible all-purpose cleaner can bring your kitchen back to life in 15 minutes.
Again, that
John
scam
has
ad.
seen it all when it comes to cleaning products.
Whoa!
However, this product surprised him the most. What happens next is shocking. Watch until the end.
Scrub them sides. Oh, God, it's getting very creamy. Sorry. Oh, it's so... It is...
This is almost certainly an unrelated video they stole and are claiming has to do with their product, which may or may not even exist.
Oh, this looks like it's at someone's job. Look how clean the sink is. I'm gonna pause it. Claimlix, you need to have that in your house. I was introduced.
Okay, no, he's paid for this.
And it is ridiculously good. Ridiculously good. And I obviously saw it on TikTok as well.
Oh my fuck.
Here's a video of a woman using the Wi-Fi detector to discover the hidden camera in what appears to be her Airbnb. And
oh, a lot of them are based on paranoia. So it's like, look for secret cameras. Who's following you?
Record you, or they could view you in real time. When I say hidden camera, you still think about high-tech spy movie stuff, right? Yet look at this. They become so small, so refined, yet so cheap, so readily available. I'm Captain Josh Shafford. I've spent
So once again, they know their audience, a bunch of paranoid older people who used to be the Fox News demographic, but are now too extreme even for Fox News. So it's a lot of geriatric paranoid conspiracy theorists who easily fall for scams, both medical and based around narratives of paranoia. And that's the focus of all the ads. It's really sad.
And even a helicopter that ran on radio frequencies, a true free energy device that keeps batteries consistently charged.
Oh my god, this fucking idiot really believes this? Oh no, I thought they were misrepresenting that documentary. This guy really believes this?
It took me several months to find him, but when I did, it blew my mind.
Maxwell is a testament to the boundless ingenuity that resides within our continent.
In a groundbreaking moment for Africa's technological landscape, the Harare Institute of Science and Technology, HIT, has officially endorsed one of the most revolutionary innovations in automotive history. Maxwell Sangilani Chikumbutso, the visionary founder of SAIT Technologies, has introduced the world's first self-powered vehicle.
He claims it. He has not demonstrated it.
A feat that defies
This idiot is the heir to Procter & Gamble. Once again, I want to remind people, money doesn't make you smart. Money doesn't make you smart. See, back in the day, there'd be rich people, and sometimes those rich people would be smart, sometimes not. And then those people have kids, and their kids are little dumbass Nepo babies who've never had a real problem in their life, and they're just the biggest idiots on the planet, and they're in charge of everything because their parents made a bunch of money, or their grandparents made a bunch of money. You're wondering why things are going bad now. I would say that's at least part of the equation. A lot of old money people in control of things who don't know anything about how the world works, but they think they're special little genius babies because they were born on fourth base. Third base, sorry. Fourth base is home.
conventional science and positions Zimbabwe at the
Example, Polte? Yep, and he's in Trump's cabinet now, so there you go.
forefront of global energy innovation. The endorsement from IIT's Vice Chancellor, Professor Engineer Quentin Kanhukamwe, marks a defining moment for African ingenuity and technological advancement. Addressing an audience of delegates at the unveiling of Chikumbutso's latest invention, Professor Kanhukamwe's words carried the weight of both scientific credibility and national pride. Here's what this great professor of engineering from one of Africa's leading tech universities said.
Innovation has always been the driving force behind humanity's progress, as we confront the mounting challenges of energy scarcity, environmental degradation, and economic inequality.
He's what, Amber?
Quality,
What did I
technology
say?
offers a
What?
beacon of hope. It is a privilege to stand before you today at this remarkable occasion, the launch of SAIT Technologies' groundbreaking microsonic energy technology. We gather here not only to celebrate technological milestones.
Polte. Oh, you didn't hear this? Polte's in Trump's cabinet now. Yeah, he got approved. His hearing was the other day, I think. He's in charge of some housing thing, because he donated like $1.5 million to Trump or something.
But to witness the dawn of
What's the position? Let me look. Bill Polte. It'll come up now, because he's in the news. FHFA. I don't remember the Federal Housing Finance Agency. Bill Polte, the meme stock psycho, is now in charge of a bunch of shit. Did I not mention that on stream? Yeah. And he had PP take down the Polte events, you know, the videos of the live events that are super embarrassing for him. He had PP take those down. I have them, but he had PP take them down. What's my thoughts about the fact that someone in Trump's cabinet knows who you are? I'm not a big fan of it, but you know.
of the new chapter in energy innovation.
I said it before, but that documentary I was in, there's footage that was not put in the final documentary where I really went in on Polte. And part of me's a little glad that they cut that stuff out. Because boy, I really don't need someone that close to Trump to put a target on me because he's pissy that I made fun of him on the internet, you know?
Born and developed right here on the African soil. For far too long, Africa has been seen as a consumer rather than a producer of technological advancements. SIG Technologies is changing that narrative.
Maybe we should accidentally rewatch them for educational purposes, obviously. See, here's the thing. PP is copyright striking people who try and upload it. So...
This launch symbolizes...
He did get Korvax and crew kicked off Twitter. He did. I don't know if you guys saw that. He did.
A shift towards homegrown solutions designed to meet global challenges. What makes today even more significant is that this breakthrough has been pioneered by one of our own, Maxwell Chikumbutso.
Luckily, I left Twitter a while back anyway, and don't ever intend to go back, so...
Maxwell is a testament to the boundless ingenuity that resides within our continent.
Ashley One Up with 50 bits says, Trump voice, "My fellow Americans, today I sign an executive order which will be known as No Hannah's Law."
His work serves as an inspiration not only to Zimbabwe, but to the entire African continent. Supporting local innovators like Maxwell is not just a moral imperative, it is a strategic necessity for our development and competitiveness on the global stage.
This speech has significant implications. Professor Engineer Quentin Kanhukamwe, the Vice Chancellor of the esteemed Harare Institute of Science and Technology, put his distinguished and indispensable scientific career as well as his unrivaled authority as a highly sought-after engineer to fully support Zimbabwe's leading innovator, Maxwell Sangulani Chikumbutso.
The first people who have done that in the world. Like us or hate us, that's a fact. We have seen it, we have tested it, it was tested outside the country. It works.
Show us the result of those tests. It's never been tested publicly. Show literally anyone testing it and actually rigorously doing so and not sycophants.
So what we have is called a microsonic energy device. But before I got to the microsonic energy device, like where we are right now, around 2013, that's...
Most cleaning products are all talk and
More
no
of these
results.
goddamn ads.
That's why we asked John to review our product. John has seen it all.
Here's a video of a woman using the Wi-Fi detector to discover the hidden camera in what appears to be her Airbnb, and it
gives you 15 kilowatts power to power your house.
Zimbabwe's a game-changing, first-of-a-kind innovations.
Zimbabwean inventor Maxwell Sangulani Chikumbutso.
Is there a time you should go live? I'll probably be going for another hour and a half or so, so around then. I'll give you like a 15-minute warning or so. I'll shoot you a message on Discord.
Has just shocked the world by unveiling the first self-powered car, a revolutionary feat that defies conventional science and places Zimbabwe at the forefront of global energy.
What was the name of the documentary I was in? What was the name of the documentary I was in? Let me see. What the heck was the name of it? Cult of Dead Stock. Thank you. The Cult of Dead Stock from 5 months ago. Almost 2 million views.
What company?
Here's a link if you want to check it out. Don't watch it right now. Stay here and watch me live. But if you want to check out the documentary, here it is. I'm in it.
Energy innovation. This extraordinary breakthrough, achieved through his invention of the microsonic energy device, harnesses radio frequencies from the atmosphere and converts them into usable electrical energy. Unlike traditional vehicles that rely on fossil fuels or rechargeable batteries, Chikumbutso's car draws power directly from the air, providing an unlimited energy supply and eliminating the need for refueling or recharging. This groundbreaking technology has the potential to disrupt the global automotive industry.
No, it
Warren and Smiljan in the...
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Cool
Oh God, sorry.
Autofix, and today, let me begin with a simple question. What if I told you the technology for self-charging electric vehicles already...
Dr. Cool Audio. I'm almost wondering, is Maxwell Chikumbutso, like so many of these videos about him are AI, is he and his team, if he has a team, are they producing these videos to give, like, the appearance that people are talking about him positively? I'm just trying to think, who else would produce this many AI videos about this?
exists. Not some pie-in-the-sky concept, but real working
Oh, well, I'm glad you got your preferred job back, Ash.
tech right now in 2025.
We miss you, but I understand.
Probably think I'm watching too many sci-fi movies, but I'm dead serious. We're talking about breakthroughs that make Tesla's superchargers look like toys. Forget BYD, forget Tesla, forget battery swapping. This is about breaking free from the grid entirely.
Battery swapping was always a stupid idea that Elon Musk just said, like a lot of the things he does.
And it's all thanks to an African inventor named Maxwell Chikumbutso.
Wait, why are they using that clip? What?
Guy, a high school dropout, has developed something
Again, there's the machine that he's claiming is powering a TV magically on the back.
So revolutionary, so disruptive, that it's sending shockwaves through the entire automotive and energy industries. I'm not talking about some small-scale experiment either. We're talking about a mid-sized SUV, a superbike, even whispers of a self-powered airplane, all running on Chikumbutso's technology.
Again, that's just the electric motor. Why do you keep showing this like he made this? It literally has the logo of the Chinese company on it. This is just the engine for this car that he bought from China. He didn't make any of this.
Buckle up, folks, because today we're diving deep into the world of Maxwell Chikumbutso, a world where energy is free, abundant, and controlled by the people, not the corporations, keeping us running rat race, playing carrot-donkey trick. Let's kick things off with something close to my heart, motorcycles. Now, bikes have always...
If this worked, the army would have bought it already. Yeah, refueling is a huge part of the logistics when you're, like, in the military. Like, that was a big thing, like, in the Ukraine stuff when Russia was first invading, too, was, you know, not just them getting into the country, but making sure that they had lines of, resources to get to them. So, like, fuel, like, there were tanks and vehicles just being left because they couldn't get supply lines to bring them fuel. So the idea that you could have this, like, auto war winning button and no one is buying it is crazy.
Always been symbols of freedom, right? But they come with a catch fuel costs, oil changes, the never-ending drain on your wallet. Don't get me started with price of charging EV that is more expensive than both car and parts combined. Electric bikes were supposed to be the answer, but range anxiety and charging times, not exactly liberating. Now, imagine a world where you hop on your superbike, feel the wind in your hair, and never even have to think about gas stations or plugging in. That's not just a promise of Chikumbutso's self-charging technology, but a reality in 2025 which will be unveiling shortly. No more stopping for gas, no more range anxiety, just pure, uninterrupted riding pleasure. Think about what this means, especially in parts of the world like Africa and Asia, where motorcycles are more than just hobbies. They're lifelines. Farmers could transport goods to market without fuel costs eating into their profits. Delivery services could operate around the clock, boosting efficiency and slashing expenses. Entire economies could be revolutionized. But here's the thing, this technology doesn't just liberate individuals, it disrupts entire industries. Think about the gas stations, the oil companies, the battery manufacturers, all those giants built on our dependence on fossil fuels and limited energy sources. They have a vested interest.
Okay, but also think about all of the trucking companies and shipping companies and everything that would benefit from that also have billions of dollars. You know what I mean? You can surely point out the perverse incentives that exist in the world of business, and in particular, like fossil fuels and stuff, and how they have actively tried to obfuscate the reality of human-caused climate change for their own benefit. But, like, there are also other companies that would benefit a lot from this. So while there are, you know, perverse incentives, there are other people with incentives that would also want this and would also spend money for it. So you'd kind of have to explain that.
Interest in keeping us hooked on their products, and that's where things get interesting. Because when you have a technology that can potentially dismantle these multi-billion-dollar industries, you can bet there will be pushback. Powerful forces will do everything they can to discredit it, suppress it, maybe even make it disappear entirely, but we're not going to let them, are we? We're going to shine a light on this technology, share it with the world, and empower individuals to break free from the chains of energy dependence.
My name is Maxwell Chikumbutso. God has given me something that is going to change the world.
The world told him it was impossible. Scientists scoffed, corporations dismissed him, and even his own life was threatened.
I like that every time that gets brought up, they just show this same picture, meaning this picture is most likely the only evidence of anything, and he just claimed he was poisoned. He's in a hospital. Was he poisoned? Don't know about that.
But Maxwell Chikumbutso, a high school dropout from Zimbabwe, refused to be silenced. He dared to dream of a future powered by clean energy, a future where Africa leads the way in technological innovation. And now, he has unleashed inventions that could disrupt entire industries. This is the Kai Scythe, an electric car that never needs charging, has unlimited range, zero emissions, and the ability to power your entire home.
Once again, these are things he has claimed and failed to demonstrate even a little bit.
And that's not all. He's also built a racing motorbike that leaves gasoline in the dust, television sets that need no batteries or external power supply.
You can tell this thing works because he stuck a green LED on it, so you can tell it's on and doing something. That's a big thing for scam technology, by the way. You just throw an LED light on that bitch. That makes it seem so much more legitimate. I know it seems silly, but if this thing didn't have the light on it, it's like 20% less legitimate looking. You throw a light on there, looks like it's doing something. You can tell in that picture that he's in a bed. It is a hospital bed, though. I could see more of the picture than you could, and there's like the thing on the hospital bed, the guardrails.
And a green power-off-grid machine that produces clean, continuous energy without a single drop of fuel. All powered by his revolutionary microsonic energy technology. But what is this mysterious energy source? And how did a self-taught inventor from Africa achieve what established scientists deemed impossible?
Again, they're still saying it's impossible. You're saying that like it's past tense, deemed impossible. It is still impossible. No one is saying it is possible. He's not demonstrated it.
This video will answer all these questions and also look at why he has been facing patent challenges for his inventions.
All right, folks, buckle up because we're about to...
Oh my god, what is the switching between voices?
Take this to a whole new level. Forget self-driving cars, we're talking about self-charging airplanes. Imagine a world where those massive metal birds soaring through the sky aren't guzzling down thousands of gallons of jet fuel, spewing pollution into our atmosphere. Imagine airlines freed from the crippling costs of fuel, able to offer drastically cheaper flights, making air travel accessible to everyone, not just the privileged few. Imagine the environmental impact: cleaner air, reduced carbon emissions, a healthier planet. It sounds like a utopian dream, right? But here's the thing, it's not a dream. Maxwell Chikumbutso claims to have developed the technology to make this a reality.
Claims. I know I'm beating a dead horse here. I know.
And if it's true, it's not just the aviation industry that needs to watch out. It's the entire energy sector. Think about the oil tycoons, the energy moguls, the politicians with deep pockets lined by the fossil fuel industry. They've built empires on our dependence on oil. Do you really think they're going to sit back and watch their fortunes evaporate as airplanes start running on free, limitless energy? Of course not. They'll fight tooth and nail to discredit this technology, to bury it under a mountain of bureaucracy.
Okay, and all he would have to do to show that they're wrong is drive 1,000 miles on a live stream on one tank, or not tank, no tank of gas. All he would have to do is live stream his drone flying for a week straight without having to charge. All he would have to do is show this car and show it doing that, but he won't because he can't. He can't say people keep trying to discredit me when you're not even trying to be credible yourself. You've not offered anything to lend credibility, so there's nothing to discredit. You're just saying shit.
To make sure it never sees the light of day, they'll use their money, their influence, their control over the media to paint Chikumbutso as a fraud, a charlatan, anything to protect their interests.
We are also going to unveil the cost price of these revolutionary cars.
The cost price?
Maxwell Chikumbutso was born in Zimbabwe in 1980 and grew up in the high-density suburb of Budiriro, Harare. His early life was marked by financial hardships, forcing him to drop out of school at just 14 years old. However, what he lacked in formal education, he more than made up for with his innate brilliance and curiosity for engineering. From a young age, Chikumbutso displayed an extraordinary ability to invent and build complex devices using scrap materials. In the late 1990s, he began working on innovative projects, crafting gadgets such as a radio transmitter, digital navigator, and turbine engine. His love for technology was purely self-taught, driven by an unshakable belief in his God-given abilities. According to Chikumbutso,
sometimes having an unshaken belief in your own abilities isn't great when your abilities aren't as good as you think they are.
Inventions are divinely
That's my plan, Trey. Just infinite heat machine. We're gonna melt the whole planet.
Inspired. Ideas that he receives in visions during the night. Chikumbutso's inventive spark ignited further in 2009 when he shifted his focus to green energy. He envisioned a world where power could be harnessed from the very air around us, leading him to develop his revolutionary microsonic energy technology. This technology, according to Maxwell, functions by means of capturing and converting radio waves into usable energy, a concept that has both intrigued and baffled the scientific community.
If there was enough ambient, energy around us that could be picked up in this way to power a car, none of us would be alive. Anything trying to live in an environment that is that rich with, electromagnetic energy would fucking die. It would be like living in a microwave. It would be really bad. So no.
Before we dive into how his latest advancements in the automotive industry could disrupt the Tesla market, let's take a closer look at some of his most remarkable inventions and how they can positively impact the entire continent and the world at large. The wireless self-powered television. Chikumbutso once showcased a television set that does not require external power. At the heart of this technology is the same microsonic energy system that converts radio frequencies into usable electricity. This means the TV can run indefinitely without relying on cords, cables, or batteries. The benefits of this self-powered TVs, if they get produced in a large scale,
I'm guessing the way he did this was literally a battery. I assume he just has a hidden battery on this somewhere. Because it does seem like he knows how to, solder things and do basic electronic work. He threw together this little bullshit thing. So he might have cracked open the TV and put a battery on, where the power supply would be. That would be my guess. I don't know, though.
Truly transformative. Millions of people living in remote areas without access to electricity can be able to enjoy entertainment and educational content.
They would still need Wi-Fi. They would still need internet connection. And if they don't have power, do they really have internet? I don't know.
Moreover, households in urban centers, too, can save...
Unless you want to send them a bunch of Blu-ray players, which I'm all for.
...significantly on electricity bills.
The hardest part of any perpetual motion device is to figure out where to hide the batteries. Yeah, I've heard that before, too. Adam Savage from Mythbusters fame did a video a while back where he looked at a perpetual motion machine and tried to figure out how it worked. It is, to be clear, it isn't claiming to actually be perpetual motion. It's just an art installation that hides its power source very well, and it's pretty cool.
As traditional TVs are notorious energy guzzlers.
So this is the first television in the world that uses self-power to say. It is all in one. You don't need to put it on electricity or on solar panel or anything. As it is a complete solution. Behind the television, you can see that there is a microsonic energy device, this box. This is the device that is converting radio frequencies into pure energy. As you can see, the power of the cable was supposed to be here. On all traditional televisions, power comes here, but there's no power, as you can see.
Oh, wow, Jesus. Nemesaur, thank you for gifting 20 tier 1 subs. That's so generous of you, Nemesaur. Thank you for all you do for the channel. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
The television it is working as it is. So in layman, I think this television is we can call it a...
And remember, chat, it's my birthday week. You have to be nice to me, and being nice to me entails doing gifts.
A self-powered television.
Next, we have the Green Power Off-Grid machine. This is another groundbreaking invention by Maxwell that generates electricity using the same microsonic principle.
What we're looking at.
Ad break?
It's called the Green Power.
It skipped the ad. That's nice. It tried to load. M. Scheffler, thanks for 100 bits.
Off-grid machine.
What day is my birthday? Wednesday, the 12th. I will be streaming that day. We'll be doing a tinfoil stream because I have to work Tuesday, tomorrow, so. Overthought, thanks for gifting a sub and kicking off a hype train.
It is 0.5 megawatts.
93% to level 5 on the hype train. We're already up there.
And we are relying with the radio frequency. We harness the radio frequency, convert it into pure energy that is useful.
This device can generate electricity without solar panels or traditional energy grids.
You thought you were already nice to me? It's true. You're all very nice.
And can supply hundreds
nicer than I deserve sometimes.
Of households. If fully developed, this can be a solution for Africa's energy crisis. It could provide cheap and clean energy to rural areas with limited or no access to electricity. Before we continue, please support our effort to keep bringing these videos.
Oh, fuck off!
By donating a super thanks of any amount to the channel. Thank you. Now let's talk about the self-sustaining racing motorbike. Alongside the Kayi Scythe, Chikumbutso introduced a high-performance racing motorbike that also runs on microsonic energy. This motorbike does not need fuel or recharging and has been designed for both racing and commercial use. Currently, there is no official...
Oh, I like that he just put his logo on it. See the Saith logo? Again, this is like a bike he bought from China, and he just put his logo on it and is acting like he made it. Oh.
Price released for the racing bike, but its affordable production...
Electric bikes are very cool, by the way.
Production cost...
Motorcycles scare me, so I would never ride one, but they're very cool.
Means it could become widely accessible in Africa and beyond. Now, let's look at the elephant in the room, the self-powered electric car, the Kayi Scythe. The Kayi Scythe, developed in partnership with Chinese automaker Kayi, is a testament to Maxwell's ingenuity. While the specifics of his microsonic...
This car he bought from another company is a testament to his ingenuity.
...energy technology remain undisclosed. Due to some concerns, the car's potential is undeniable. These cars boasts several remarkable
features. What about an electric scooter? Scooters are cool. I wanted an electric scooter as a kid.
That set them apart from conventional electric vehicles. Perhaps the most revolutionary is its unlimited driving range. Unlike traditional electric cars that rely on charging stations and have limited mileage before needing a recharge, the Kayi Scythe continuously powers itself using Chikumbutso's proprietary microsonic energy technology. This eliminates the range anxiety that plagues many electric vehicle owners and makes long-distance travel a seamless possibility. Beyond its self-sustaining power system, the Kayi Scythe is also built for performance. It can reach a top speed of 220 kilometers per hour, approximately 137 miles per hour, putting it in direct competition with high-performance electric vehicles currently on the market. This impressive speed, combined with its unlimited range, makes the Kayi Scythe a compelling option for drivers who desire both sustainability and exhilarating performance. To a much
world where they lose their grip on power, and they're not going to give up without a fight.
See if I can find more direct interviews with him.
Every time I go to my mother-in-law's house, I am afraid to use the bathroom. Most of the time, it's so dirty and covered in mold.
Ugh.
This incredible product dissolves oven grease and stubborn mold in seconds without any scrubbing. Take any dirty surface.
Hate their ads.
We thrive under pressure to push the boundaries of what's technologically
Minute left on the hype
possible.
train, 93% to level
20,000
5. Real quick, we got a super chat. Christian Jones with a $4.99 super chat says, I'm smart and funny and love being tricked by my audience into complimenting myself through super chats. Cute.
Bring the man onto the...
I know we saw clips of this
Many
interview.
of you had been inundating me, especially on my social media platforms, which I've been using to talk about events around the country.
30 seconds on the hype.
Was a launch of a very important and interesting invention on Friday. Bring the man onto the show, you said, because you wanted to hear what he would have in store for us, that he may further explain that invention, that beautiful, beautiful invention that has had a lot of people talking on social media, and as you can see,
Thank you very
those
much for the hype
images
train,
being
Nemesaur,
floated, and some of you
Scheffler,
will
and
know
Overthought.
now
Appreciate ya.
very soon what that machine in the background is and who that man in that image is, because I have him now in the studio today, Maxwell Chikumbutso, an inventor of note. Thank you for coming and joining me here on Diplomatic Passport. Well, first and foremost, people will remember you by a very interesting invention that you had before. And would you like to tell us about that invention, the car? What was that all about, and what sort of interest did that generate around the world?
Oh, thank you very much. The electric vehicle invention, it is an invention that we took from the greener power of grid machine. The greener power of grid machine is the machine that birthed the microsonic energy device invention. Later on, we felt that since now we have got a perpetual generator, why can't we borrow the technology and integrate it into vehicle, then see how the vehicle operates. That was the birth of the electric vehicle. That became the first electric vehicle in the world that doesn't need any external recharging. Meaning to say it is like a moving generator. You can take it to a rural area, then you can even draw energy from the vehicle to power your house. Unlike what is happening in the electric vehicles which are there, where you have to connect it to your house to recharge the batteries overnight. But the electric vehicle is a different technology altogether. We are using radio frequencies. So the electric vehicle and the greener power of grid machine, they share the same common invention, which is called microsonic energy device, a device that harnesses radio frequencies and change it into direct energy. But that is useful.
I will ask about two things. You talked about perpetual energy. What would you like to explain what that is to the ordinary layperson, and to say, what does perpetual energy mean and involve?
Okay, I think in a simple language, perpetual motion, it means something that keeps on running. There are a number of perpetual motion energy devices. Okay, let me try to break it down. According to the World Intellectual Property Office, a perpetual motion device, it is a device that uses any type of energy for a certain period of time. That's how they classify them. When we look at the greener power of grid machine, they tried to classify it under the perpetual motion energy device, but we later saw that it doesn't fall under, because a lot of perpetual energy devices that are there, they've got a certain time they will work, and usually they use much energy to generate less energy.
That's literally how everything works. You cannot generate more energy from less energy. The laws of physics.
Why they were known as...
You can't have a small input and get a bigger output. It is impossible.
Unconventional energy solutions that cannot be used even to power big things.
I also feel like there's this thing where culturally, especially in America, I think, people hear impossible and they're like, you're just not creative enough to imagine the possibility. I don't mean impossible like, that's very unlikely. I mean, it is literally, if the universe worked the way you're describing, we wouldn't be here. The laws of physics, the same ones that allow us to exist, forbid what you are saying. And you can show this with math.
The greener power off-grid machine does it in a different way. This is the first technology of its kind that uses less energy to generate huge energy. Therefore, we are deemed as violating the second law of energy in thermodynamics. We were taught at school that energy is directly proportional. If you need 2, you have to put 2. The greener power off-grid machine doesn't work in such a way. That's why we have said we have discovered new formulas being
Can we see the math? Principal Skinner, no.
both in maths and in physics on how best we can explain energy. Yeah.
And maybe now that we're talking about that machine, I want you to delve into it, what we saw you launch on Friday. What is that machine and what can it do?
Okay, that machine, we gave it a name, Greener Power Off-Grid Machine. The name Greener, it came because the technology is green energy. No emissions, no consumables.
Rick M asks, what about fusion power? You'd have to ask to a nuclear physicist about that, but I promise it doesn't break the laws of physics.
It's dangerous on the machine because what we're simply doing is we're harnessing a radio frequency, natural radio frequency, converted into energy. Therefore, we're not even producing anything that is toxic or dangerous to humans. A greener power off-grid machine, it is a breakthrough to science to say. When it was launched on Saturday, the Thrive team in the United States of America, we met them sometime last year but one, and they sent their scientists from the United States of America to come and validate, to do some tests to see if the machine it is working, it is doing what we said it was doing. After that, they gave us a scientific report which stated that the technology was novel and it was genuine. Later on, they decided to do a documentary. They decided that I must feature in their documentary, Thrive 2, what it takes. Then it was launched last Saturday. So this is the first time in the world to have such kind of a technology that work in such a way. Our machine, the one that we demonstrated, it is a 50 kilowatts, 50 kW to say. That means it is capable of generating 50,000 watts. That energy can power about 10 houses, high density houses in Zimbabwe according to ZESA. If we allocate 5 kilowatts per each house, and we are looking at around 320 amps per hour, which is huge electricity to say. Before that machine, we did a 500 kilowatt, which is half a megawatt. When we say you have done a half a megawatt from a radio frequency, it doesn't make sense. But when we demonstrated the machine, people, they saw that surely the machine is working, because a half a megawatt can power around plus or minus 200 houses.
Grimsbane says, I found the car company that he's supposed to be working with. Strangely, they don't have any claims of a self-powered car. Yeah, he keeps saying that the vehicles he has are in partnership with them. I guarantee there's no partnership. I think they're just vehicles he bought from China, an electric car and an electric bike, which seem to be cool vehicles, but they're just that. They need to be plugged in like any other electric vehicle, but he's lying and put his logos on these goddamn cars, and he's saying he helped design them and they don't need to be plugged in. He literally just bought electric vehicles and slapped his logo on them. It's a ridiculous scam.
So you can see what it does.
Like, no one is pushing back on him, seemingly, where he is, and it's just wild to me.
From a radio frequency. That's why I said we have made new discoveries that will now have to go hand in hand with the natural laws of physics, also the law of energy in thermodynamics. Yeah.
And looking at radio frequencies, when people, the ordinary person wants to know, what's this radio frequency that you are harnessing, where does it come from, and is it not finite?
It is a real car. It's a real company. I'm saying he put his own logo on them. That's not the logo I'm talking about. He has his own company called Sayeth, and he put that logo on the cars along with the real logos from the company.
Will we not have this machine and one day not have radio frequencies?
Rayline says, with 40 bits, I find it so funny. These scammers always say the whatever industry is trying to kill them. Buddy, if the oil industry wanted you dead, you'd be dead, not giving interviews posted on YouTube. Very true.
It's to harness.
You know, when God created the earth, he put some electromagnetic frequencies as they are better known. I think if
Is that legal? Are you asking me if fraud is legal? No. But if he doesn't get caught for it and everyone believes him, then what's going to happen? He got invited to meet the Zimbabwean president. Like, clearly, they just believe him.
He had a number of guys from NASA when they are going to the moon. They've got a challenge of passing through some microwave frequency energy. So we are taking what God has created.
Who's making all the YouTube supporting this guy? He seems to have a lot of it's AI, but this gentleman, Zim Tech guy, seems to be doing a lot of stuff with him. I think he's also from Zimbabwe, so I think he covers him a lot. Yeah. He covers him more than anyone else, actually, it seems, which seems very suspicious to me. Makes me wonder if he's, affiliated with him in any way. Maybe not, though.
Unfortunately, we have classified the frequency, the particular frequency that we are using for some security reasons. As you know, that we failed to file a patent because they said we are violating the laws of physics, so it's not industrial applicable.
Just because two people are from the same country don't mean they're cousins.
Because of that, we went the trade secret route.
They might be, like, grifting together, but that doesn't mean they're related.
Where we took some pieces of the machine and classify them as trade secrets, just like what Coca-Cola did.
And you know, this is interesting. People will look at you as a disruptor. You're disruptive in this world, and of course that's what you're talking about when you speak of issues like
family would help you grift. Not exclusively family, though. You can find other people to grift with.
Like, violating.
I wouldn't recommend don't grift people, but like the idea that you could, I would argue, like any business relationship, probably don't do it with your family or your friends. Not a good idea. You're gonna grift people, I guess, like any business, find other people who can have a business relationship with you.
Existing laws.
But don't grift.
And just a bit about you. Who are you? And what did you study? Because
Green Guy with a $1 tip says, wife pointed out the 5 kilowatts is half a measurement when it comes to power usage. 5 kilowatt hour for a day is not much for a home. 5 kilowatt every hour is a lot. My home generator maxes at 1,850 kilowatt hours. He could be talking about the normal power usage for like a home in Zimbabwe too, which in some rural areas might be borderline non-existent. Like it might just be talking about like electric lights and like a radio or something. So
people think this is sophisticated material you're talking about.
He could also just be, you know, full of shit. Because he is about most things.
Who is this guy? Who is...
Why did it cut off? What happened? Oh, it's trying to load an ad.
What did he study? Where did he study?
Thank you for that question. I was born in a very poor family. I did not manage to complete my education. I left school when I was Form 2 second term due to some financial difficulties. I was raised by a single parent, my mom. Later after, I discovered that there was something in me. I started to see visions, and up to until now, I see visions, very clear visions, not even when I'm not asleep. Those are some of the things that I see. And God started to teach me, I believe God started to teach me. I could hear voices. I started to experiment with some electronic components. No one ever taught me what were the names and the uses of
electronic components. It
Oh,
was
wow. He's not even claiming to, like, have read books or anything on this. He's just saying he just vibed out how to do electronic engineering. Oh, God. All right. That's not how that works.
My first breakthrough was in 1999 when I did the first radio broadcasting transmitter in Kwadzana. It made the headlines on both the national television, news, and also some radio stations. After that, God kept on giving me ideas. Then I did digital navigation facilitator, which was the first challenging technology. It's a machine which is used to facilitate landing of aircrafts. It calculates where the runway is, how fast is the plane coming to land, which side does it must it have to maneuver to. So it was a challenging technology. I had to learn things like the Doppler effects. How do you use a radio frequency in measuring distance? Those are some of the things that I use in GPSs. Later on, I did my first turbine engine, which was, I took it to the Air Force of Zimbabwe and the Civil Aviation Technical Training Center. Years later, God gave me the vision of the greener power of grid machine. 2009, I completed the first working prototype, which was a 1,200 watts. Later on, I founded a company with Zek Wazara, who was the group CEO for Econet. Then we started to design big machines. 2013.
There's a helicopter there somewhere.
Yes.
There are drones there somewhere. Tell us about those.
The helicopter is the funniest one to me. The fact that he claims he built a helicopter that can fly with no fuel. Like, a car is ridiculous enough. The amount of fuel that a helicopter takes to keep it in the air. That's pretty good.
Yes. Years later, I think in 2013, that's where I started, I founded my company, Said Technologies. Along the way, we did a drone, the first autonomous drone. We are the first people to have done
Guy and Terrence Howard should team up.
We did a helicopter, the first successful helicopter that flies again in Zimbabwe, using materials such as carbon fiber, alloy materials, both in aluminum and stainless steels.
This means, does this mean that the guy who's funding him bought this motherfucker a helicopter? Fools and their money.
Titanium, the electric vehicle, 2015. Yeah, so those are some of the things that we have done, some of the projects.
Wow, look at these pictures of him sitting in a helicopter. That sure does mean he's not scamming.
That we might want to call successful projects. Yeah.
And then I do remember on social media there was quite an uproar and an outcry that you then left the country, went elsewhere, and you were received warmly. But people were saying you didn't. They thought you didn't get that sort of support locally at home. That local prophet that you are. Have you been supported locally? Do you think you've been supported adequately here in the country? And if so, how?
He's been supported
what else would you have
superfluously.
You know, it's sad, but that is I think it's a painful reality of life. Most of these inventors or people who achieve some other things, they are not recognized in their countries. Yes, I would want to say that I did not get the support that I thought I would get. I've been to Zimbabwe Science and Technologies, so many institutes. I never got any form of support, being moral or technical, not necessarily.
It's a helicopter from Temu or Wish. I just had a terrible thought. What if the helicopter isn't even a real helicopter and it's like a prop helicopter that's just like the body of the helicopter without the engine or any of the parts that would actually make it function? Just a thought. Just a thought. Completely non-functional, even like the way it should function. Marcel Paul with a 3-stream streak says, well, if you say you can move a car without fuel, you're already claiming to have infinite energy, so you may as well say you can make a whole continent fly away, I suppose. Because we saw him drive the car, and the car is just a normal electric car that he's claiming he put a special thing in. But we haven't even seen the helicopter's, like, props spin, you know? Did it even function at all?
Necessarily mean I was looking for financial support, no. But you see that God brought people from outside the country. The first person that I work with.
It's a flux capacitor. The flux capacitor doesn't generate energy. It requires energy to function. The flux capacitor is a capacitor. This is my fan theory. Is a capacitor that basically absorbs the temporal shocks from changes to the timeline and keeps the universe from ripping apart unless something like a complete paradox happens. I've seen Back to the Future too many times.
Like I said, was Zek Wazara. I thank God for him. He did quite a lot. Then later on, I worked with the late Dr. Teddy De Almeida. He was an Angolan. He is the first person who helped me in a bigger way, to say. And his partner, Mr. Luis Cupenala, then he passed on in 2007.
Why doesn't this guy just sell the electric generator? That alone would make him a gorabillionaire, because then someone would take a look at it and see it's fake. This is all he can do, is go around and scam people with it temporarily and get their money based on his claims.
We were recognized in the United States of America, to say, like I have said, you have seen the Americans, they had to come to Zimbabwe, they've flown in their scientists, they did a validation, they confirmed the machine is working, they started to help us.
That documentary was made by woo-woo people too. They didn't really test your thing very well based on what I saw.
We never got that kind of recognition or support here in Zimbabwe. As far as I'm concerned, we have got a number of very educated people. Yes, I thank God for few people. The Vice Chancellor for it, he sits on my board, he's my advisor. Engineer Quinto Kankamwe, he's one of a kind, like I'm saying. He came to me, he started to guide me how best I would perfect my technologies. But when we look at a country like Zimbabwe, with a lot of educated people, he was the only one who came. Not even the government came to support. So I think we need to start support our own. It's not easy. This journey has been very long. Sometimes we don't need money as investors. We just need, as inventors, to say, we just need moral support. We just need maybe guidance.
And you've also got a positive story to tell around Tesla. Can you tell us about that story, your journey alongside Tesla?
Yeah. You see, like we know Nikola Tesla was one of the greatest inventors. He's the father of AC electricity, to say. Nikola Tesla, he is the father of frequencies as well. A lot of people, they give credit to Marconi, but it was Tesla who started to experiment with radio frequencies. There is a time that he said the very same thing that we have done, that it is very possible, there is a lot of energy there, but we just need to have the right equipment. Just like an antenna, you have to position it.
Once again, I will say, even Tesla, who was trying to develop ways to wirelessly transmit electricity, didn't believe that there was enough just around ambiently that you could just absorb it. It still involved generating it and having a tower that projected it, which is theoretically possible, but the problem is you lose most of the energy, and it gets exponentially worse the further away you get. That's why wireless power isn't practical, and most likely never will be, because it's just, again, a physics thing that the further the distance something is, it exponentially drops off the energy that's transferred wirelessly.
The correct position.
So if you've ever hoped that someday in the future you'd just be able to be in your house and have wireless charging of all your devices while they're just in your house, probably not going to happen. Probably not going to happen.
you can intercept. Though
Steve of the Q, thank you for 53 months of subscription here on Twitch. It is very appreciated. Thank you very much.
he died, and he said it was ahead of his time. We thank God that we believe that we're the first people.
I believe it's the inverse square law, yeah.
People we have accomplished the work that he started, because this is exactly what we have managed to do. So it's something that he encouraged me a lot. It motivates me at the same time, and I just thank God for the grace that he gave me this calling to finish that work.
And I like how God is featuring a lot in your testimony. And
what kind of news is this? Just credulously listen to his bullshit and then praise him for including God in his talk about inventions? What is this?
the story of the visions. And there's always this great story that in science, the world of science is littered with atheists and people who don't believe. And you, in your day-to-day workings, come into contact with...
Did you pull that from some sort of wiki, Harold Elbelman?
These people who talk science and remove science from any greater being like a god. And when you tell them this story of what made you, who taught you, you are a student, a direct student of God, you say. What does that do to them? Are they not perplexed by your explanation? Because they're seeing what you're doing is working, but they also don't believe
It's not working. We've not seen it work. We've not.
This gentleman you're talking about, on the other hand.
Yeah. You are right, but one thing that I've realized, I've traveled, I've met the great people, to say presidents, scientists. One thing that I've seen is...
Sure, Harold Elbelman, that works too. I like fan theories on that kind of thing.
They know that God is there. And we are vessels. God can do what he wants with one of us at any time. Science is spiritual. That's one thing that I can tell. And I've met a lot of scientists. Science and spirituality, they go hand in hand. What we do, we are like crazy people. That's why maybe we are not received in the societies, because sometimes the things that we think about are things that are outside of this world. That's the spiritual part of it. The grace, the ability to see things in a way where no man can see, you see. So I thank God. Yes, I've got a number of people who said a lot of things about the religion, trying to crush it, but I'm not ashamed, and I always make it a point. It came from God, because how can we explain, for example, what I have managed to achieve? I'm not, I've never been to any university, but right now I've got formulas, I've got equations that I've discovered. I've never done maths at school, so how can you...
Then how do you know the equations are right? Is he just like doing random numbers and symbols and he's like, this feels right? Like, what do you mean you never learned math, but you've invented formulas? What? Show us, you coward! Let's Terrence Howard this shit.
Explain things like that. I started in 2007. From 2007 to 2020, there are 13 years. In 13 years, I have came up with about 7 inventions, groundbreaking inventions. I like you asked, we did a drone. Coding, I didn't know what is coding, what languages are used to program a drone. Those ideas, they came from God. To make a drone be intelligent, that is artificial intelligence.
Wait, he's claiming his drone has AI?
When it's flying, it has to know that there's an obstacle. I have to maneuver to this side. So how can you explain those kind of things? So definitely, spirituality and science, they go, to me, they go hand in hand.
Well, Max, I'll also tell you, I actually did mathematics at school. So you're really missing nothing there. Now the person, finally.
Except all the math.
Tell us about you as a family man. Who is Max, the family man?
Trey says one of my favorite characters from D&D was a wizard who was driven insane by a desire to create a mathematical model for perpetual magic effects.
Okay, I always tell people that the rombe to say my background, left school at a tender age at 15 years. I was working in farms, trying to help my mom to support. I've managed to send my sister to school. Right now she's a financial accountant. She works for us as the finance director. I said my brother. So that journey, it was a very tough journey for me. And I've told God that I must remain like that. So whenever you're looking for me, I'm always in the ghetto. I like Wadzana very much. You don't get up my bridge. Yeah, that's me. I don't drink, I don't smoke. I'm a Christian. I love God with everything in me. Then
Jesus drank wine. What is this Baptist shit?
I'm just a simple person to say.
I wanted to say, what's with the humility? Because you've...
Fun fact, I went to a Baptist, Christian school as a kid, and they were adamant that, in Jesus's day, wine just meant juice. They weren't drinking alcohol. And that was pretty funny.
You've done pretty well for yourself. You've amassed a lot of wealth, but you remain that guy, even in the communities. Why is it that you remain that guy? Why are you still? You know what I mean?
You know, like what I've said.
Lutherans, on the other hand, pass the beer, which is funny because my grandparents are Lutheran and they don't drink.
Like me,
weird.
Educated.
That's just their personal choice. It's just funny they're in the church with the looser restrictions on stuff like that, but they still choose not to.
With nothing.
Their church wasn't too bad. I'm not a church person. You guys know I'm non-religious, but between the churches I've been to in my life, the Lutheran one was way better than the Baptist one, way better than any Catholic thing I've ever seen. Jesus Christ.
Why should I boast? I don't see the reason, because whatever that I have, it came from God. So kanamari nasa to say ndakuda to visa my gift, I'll be nothing. So there's nothing to boast of. That's why I'm just like this, because
Unstable Deadbeat with 100 bits says, I think this might be his formula, Hannah, 3x2, parentheses 9yz, and parentheses 4a. It's the same formula that the DC character Johnny Quick recites to allow him to move at super speed.
I'm a vessel. What I believe, mine, it is a calling. Just like what doctors in the field of science. So I'm just fulfilling what God sent me to do on earth. There is nothing whatsoever that I can take credit and say, because so I must be like this. No, I'm just a simple person, and I like it that way.
And we like it that way. You're an amazing person. Thank you for coming.
It's the credulity is so fucking wild.
Big retailers don't want you to have this zoom lens, but there's nothing they can do to stop it.
Why? Why would they want to stop you?
The power of a military-grade sniper scope. It's already banned from Home Depot, Amazon, Walmart,
Why?
and big box stores for being too powerful. And now
you're not allowed to see far away.
The middleman,
sheeple.
Selling over 1.5 million units in the last month, all without those big retailers who just jack up the price tag. What makes this powerful zoom lens unique is that it can be attached to your smartphone camera to make movie-quality pictures and video footage. Now, this thing has been featured
I'm aware
on
of Spokane
Fox,
Dog Man.
ABC, NBC, you name it. But here's the kicker.
But I'm also aware
Some
how it
folks
gets
are
interpreted
saying
by
it could be
Baptist
banned
churches,
soon.
typically.
Why? Because the Product Safety Committee thinks civilians shouldn't have access to something so powerful, something designed for military use. So while it's still legal, people are scrambling to get their hands on one before any restrictions hit. Originally, this was made for military use, essential for military sniper
Trey
teams
says
during
this is how
recon
so much of
missions
gun
in the
culture is
toughest
advertised.
environments.
Gross.
And now, it's been adapted for us regular folks. It's called the Starscope Monocular, and it's wild. Originally developed for the U.S. Special Forces, this compact zoom lens lets you zoom in on stuff miles away. And the kicker? It takes photos and videos with this insane clarity, like those fancy DSLR cameras. It's using military-grade optics technology to magnify 30 times more than any other monocular out there. Stick it on your phone and you're shooting movie-quality footage. It's tough as nails too, waterproof, freeze-proof, and can handle the desert heat. And man,
I'm in the desert a lot.
Are endless. Whether you're hiking, stargazing, hitting up a concert, or even playing spy, this thing's got you covered. Since hitting TV, they've sold 2 million units in the last 30 days.
I don't believe
and
you.
Get this, by cutting out the middleman, they can offer it at a much lower price without the extra markup. Lucky for us, the company behind Starscope is doing some market research.
Yep.
The biggest mistake when using collagen or retinol.
What's better for erasing wrinkles and tightening saggy skin? Is it collagen? Is it retinol? Or is it this mystery remedy that I impulsively bought?
Ooh,
because
secret
celebrity
third thing!
dermatologist
Secret
Dr.
third
J
thing!
recommended it, and it sounded amazing. Well, let's see, because I tried the best rated versions of all 3 of these products for 30 days so that you don't have to waste your time and money trying to get better skin. And you know what? I have to say, I was shocked.
2 words. Hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid. PSA over.
And even a helicopter that ran on radio frequencies. A true free energy device that keeps batteries.
Oh, this is the same clip from that dumbass
consistently
Procter &
charged.
Gamble air.
In a world obsessed with fossil fuels and the seemingly endless pursuit of energy, one man dared to dream of a future powered by technology. The Reno X defies the traditional constraints of helicopter design, offering unparalleled efficiency and endurance. By combining lightweight materials, innovative aerodynamics, and his proprietary power system.
If you want to age better, wear sunscreen, true, or be like me and be a porcelain vampire doll and never leave the house. You see how fucking pale I am? It's disgusting!
Chikumbutso has created a helicopter that can stay airborne for hours, even days, on a single charge. This breakthrough has the potential to transform the aviation industry, providing a new level of mobility and accessibility.
You've seen whiter. To be clear, my makeup is making me look less white. Look at my skin here. Slightly whiter. Oh, I guess it's a little red right now. Anyway.
That was previously unimaginable. Chikumbutso's relentless pursuit of innovation has pushed the boundaries of what's possible, captivating the global community and inspiring a new generation of dreamers and problem solvers. His car has ability to provide up to 15 kilowatts of free electricity to power homes when the car is not.
Your skin is rosy and lovely, Hannah. Then why do I hate it so much? Why do I? You all say I'm good things about me, but if that's true, why do I think so many bad things about myself? Checkmate.
In use. This technology has the power to transform lives and communities in ways we've never seen before.
Ooh, look at that solder. They're soldering something. That's science, right?
As Chikumbutso's inventions continued to garner international attention, it wasn't long before major players in the global industry took notice. One such company was the Chinese automaker Kaiyi. Recognizing the immense potential of Chikumbutso's technology, Kaiyi reached out to the young inventor, proposing a groundbreaking partnership that would bring his self-powered electric car to the market.
Hyaluronic acid is for folks 30 plus or with severe sun damage. I'm 30 plus! I assume most of my audience is too. I don't imagine I have a lot of audience much younger than me.
Chikumbutso saw this as an opportunity to amplify the impact of his work, and the two parties quickly forged a strategic alliance. Kaiyi provided the resources, manufacturing capabilities, and
see, once again, there's the bike that he bought from China that he just slapped his logo on to the side.
global reach while Chikumbutso
You're 24. Okay, well, wait till you're 30 then.
licensed his proprietary technology to the Chinese automaker. The result was the Kaiyi Scythe, a mass-produced iteration of Chikumbutso's groundbreaking electric car. With Keiyi's support, the Scythe began rolling off the assembly lines, poised to bring Chikumbutso's vision of free...
Why does the radio-powered helicopter have an exhaust pipe? It's for the sick aesthetics.
Sustainable
also, thanks for
transportation
following.
to a global audience. This collaboration marked a significant milestone in Chikumbutso's journey, demonstrating the potential for his technology to have a transformative impact on the world stage. As Chikumbutso's inventions continued to gain international recognition, the young inventor found himself in the spotlight, invited to showcase his technology to some of the most influential engineers.
Jason Proxy says, because I was curious, I looked at the Starscope reviews according to Trustpilot. It has 138 reviews, 0 5-star, 1 4-star, 2 3-star, 1 2-star, and 134 1-star reviews.
Engineering communities in the world, the United States and China.
Cocaine Dogman says, sorry, there's a trend of teens using heavy cosmetics that are actually harmful for their age group. I've heard about that, like using retinol and stuff. Here's the thing. I don't have teens in my audience. I don't, so.
When Chikumbutso arrived in these engineering powerhouses, he was met with a mix of astonishment, skepticism, and intrigue. His demonstrations of the Scythe car, Reno X helicopter, and other self-powered devices left the assembled expert...
Oh, there you go! See, he did actually make the thing spin. We did it.
Utterly bewildered. How could one man from Africa, with limited resources, have managed to crack the code of free, limitless energy?
He didn't.
A challenge that had eluded the world's top scientists.
Why would a teenager want wrinkle treatment? TikTok, influencers, and advertising.
And engineers for decades. Gradually, the initial skepticism gave way to reluctant acknowledgement. Chikumbutso's inventions were the real deal, and they had the potential to reshape the entire energy landscape. As Chikumbutso's technology began to gain traction on the global stage,
Just a Peach says, did you notice the number of different ways the last name is being said? That might just be because a lot of these videos are narrated by AI, and different AI voices or text-to-speech are going to pronounce things slightly differently when it's not a common word.
the world started to grasp the true significance of his groundbreaking innovations. The energy revolution, led by this young African visionary, was about to change the course of history. Chikumbutso's self-powered electric cars, helicopters,
Thanks, Paul.
and other devices offered a glimpse into a future where energy is free, clean, and abundant. A future where the constraints of traditional
Just in this vid, I don't know, then Just a Peach. Maybe they're just bad at reading.
energy sources no longer apply. Imagine a world where transportation, aviation, and even the most energy-intensive industries are powered by Chikumbutso's innovations, reducing our reliance on fossil fuels and paving the way for a more sustainable, equitable, and prosperous global community. This is the promise of Chikumbutso's work, a future where the world's energy challenges are solved, unlocking unprecedented opportunities for growth, development, and a better quality of life for all. As Chikumbutso's revolutionary technology began to gain global attention and recognition, it quickly became a target for those who had the most to lose from its success. The traditional energy industry, including powerful oil and gas giants, saw Chikumbutso's innovations as a direct
Did they? So far, I've seen no evidence of Big Oil doing anything here. They're just claiming it. They just keep claiming Big Oil is out to get him. I've not seen a single anything about anything they've actually done.
threat to their long-standing dominance.
You're convinced? Where do you invest? Directly to me, and I'll pass it along.
Determined to protect their interests, they began to mount a relentless campaign to discredit and undermine the young inventor's work. Allegations of fraud, smear campaigns, and even threats to Chikumbutso's life began to surface as the established energy players desperately tried to keep their grip on the status quo. They see me as a disruptor, a threat to their profits and their power. But I will not be silenced. My vision for a better, more sustainable future is too important to be buried by their selfishness and greed. The opposition Chikumbutso faced was relentless, but his unwavering determination and commitment to his cause only grew stronger in the face of these challenges. In 2017, Chikumbutso traveled to the United States to showcase his groundbreaking technology to a global audience. It was a moment of triumph, a chance to prove the power of his innovations to the world. But as he was demonstrating the Scythe car and Reno X helicopter, disaster struck. Suddenly, Chikumbutso fell ill, collapsing on stage and being rushed to the hospital. Doctors quickly...
Once again, the only evidence of any of this is this one photo they keep showing of him in a hospital.
Determined that Chikumbutso had been poisoned, a deliberate and shocking attempt to silence the young inventor and his revolutionary technology.
Poisoned at that time, Dr. Teddy didn't make it. He died in January 2017. I survived by the grace of God.
Who could be responsible for this brazen attack? Suspicion immediately fell on the traditional energy companies and their allies, who had everything to lose from Chikumbutso's success. Chikumbutso's remarkable resilience and unwavering commitment to his vision would not be deterred by this devastating attempt on his life. He emerged from the incident more determined than ever to push forward and fulfill his mission of transforming the world's energy landscape.
There's no video of him collapsing. He was on stage. There's not even evidence he was actually given a presentation in America when this happened.
Despite the harrowing poisoning incident, Chikumbutso refused to be discouraged or deterred from his mission. His determination to create a better, more sustainable future for all was unbreakable. Recovering from the attack, Chikumbutso redoubled his efforts, pouring his heart and soul into perfecting his revolutionary technology. He knew that the world was watching, and he was more committed than ever to proving the transformative potential of his work. Chikumbutso's resilience and unwavering spirit have become a beacon of hope for people around the world. His story is a testament to the power of perseverance, innovation, and the relentless pursuit of a better future for all. As Chikumbutso's groundbreaking technology continued to make waves around the world, the global community began to take notice of this remarkable young inventor from Africa.
Absolute horseshit. I cannot believe people buy this. I'm gonna run and use the bathroom real quick. And then we might end on some Terrence Howard scamming, because it's along the same lines, and that's pretty... Real quick, I'm gonna run and use the bathroom. Please don't go anywhere. And while I'm gone, Cher will tell you about... I already did this one! Cher will tell you about Amanda and the Alien, not to be confused with Tammy and the T-Rex. Very different films. Don't fall, you dick. Alright, be right back.
You know, I was born Terrence Howard. I've become an actor. You know, I've been nominated for Oscars and Golden Globes and SAG Awards. But
Wait, one sec.
those weren't the things that really moved me. As a child, I studied chemical engineering at Pratt Institute. Was there for
Sorry, Phoenix.
2 years until I saw that there was an inconsistency with the math there. And so I went out to explore a new way of understanding how the universe worked. And
Terrence Howard is running his scam in Uganda.
I was able to define the grand unified field equation they've been looking for and put it into geometry. And then with that geometry, I was able to put props on that.
Yeah, Wednesday is the big 3-1. Don't remind me.
And what I'm saying is now we have invented a new form of flight that I would like to bring here to Uganda to replace the drones, to replace the helicopters, to replace the planes. We have all the funding necessary. What we need is just a fertile ground in which to build this. Now, this is the geometry of hydrogen. Of hydrogen. Hydrogen. This is the proton itself. So any bond...
This is the proton!
...that hydrogen can make, our linchpins are able to make. So we're talking about unlimited bonding, unlimited predictable structures, supersymmetry. And the linchpins are now able to behave as a swarm, as a colony that can defend a nation, that can harvest food, that can remove plastics from the ocean, that can give the children of Uganda and the people of Uganda an opportunity to spread this and to sell these products throughout the world. So we are no longer just selling agricultural products and pieces from the land. We can now sell and take center stage with technology. But the main purpose is to defend the sovereignty of a peaceful place and a peaceful people without having to have our young men lose their lives.
Wow, he is just completely insane, huh? Just talking about it, right? Yeah, I don't know why Terrence Howard keeps fucking trying this crap.
Greetings to you, Your Excellency. Thank you for this great honor to meet with me and my wife. We appreciate your leadership in the strong Pan-African spirit that has enabled you to take a center role in uniting Africa. And we also appreciate what you have done regarding the diaspora and asking Africans, people of African descent to return back to Africa so that we can now rebuild Africa the way that it was supposed to be. I'm very happy with being here as a result of Honorable Frank.
Happy almost birthday, MH Dark Beast.
And Isaac Kagosi, who wanted to make sure that these things would take place. I've heard about Uganda most of my life, the same way that everyone else heard about Uganda. And looking at movies.
No, he actually believes himself. I call it scamming, but I do believe he believes this. Like, hearing him talk about this on Joe Rogan or anywhere else he's talked about it, he's a true believer. The other guy we talked about for most of this stream, scammer. Terrence believes this, unfortunately.
About the gorillas and all of those things, and you hear stories of the past president that were here. But then you hear stories about what you have done in trying to keep the resources of Uganda here in the country and make sure that the people of Uganda are able to prosper and this land is no longer raped and taken, the properties taken away and given to other people. You know, I was born Terrence Howard. I've become an actor. You know, I've been...
Trey says here Terrence's manager and the people around him are scammers by association because they have to hear how insane he is. I would agree with that. Anyone enabling this and enabling him to spread this message to other people, yeah. They're enabling a scam even if he doesn't intend to scam.
Nominated for Oscars and Golden Globes and SAG Awards, but those weren't the things that really moved me. As a child, I studied chemical engineering at Pratt Institute, was there for 2 years until I saw that there was an inconsistency with the math there. And so I went out to explore a new way of understanding how the universe works, and I was able to define the grand unified field equation they've been looking for.
Yeah, he thinks 1 × 1 = 2, for those that don't know. That's like the big thing behind a lot of this, is he thinks 1 × 1 = 2 instead of 1, because he doesn't understand. He goes, well, there's 2 1s at the beginning. Where's the 1 go at the end? Because he thinks it needs to balance. Like, he doesn't understand that the first 1 is a thing and the second is a quantity. They're not the same kind of 1.
And put it into geometry.
Yeah, I got to a video that's like slightly different. So
Are descendants of that. And the same way we can paint colors and mix colors together, the children of Uganda with this new science will be able to mix elements together like you mix colors. And
we do mix elements together all the time. Fucking compounds exist. What are you talking about?
Same way
you can mix elements. You could do it right now.
You're able to mix music together. You will be able to now control the nature of things. We have the grand unified field equation in geometry with hydrogen.
Do we know what he thinks 1 × 2 is? I believe he thinks it's 2.
The linchpin, which is what happens when 4 forces meet. The space that's left over, if you were to take 4 bubbles and try and push them together, the negative space where they don't touch is the element we call hydrogen. That they've given me the patent to, worldwide patent to.
Okay.
And
yes, correct. He thinks multiplication means to make bigger. That's how he has defined multiplication.
I've turned that into a flying vehicle that has unlimited bonding. And we can now predict the entire periodic table from these same elements. So when
the periodic table was already predictive. It's the periodic table. It's arranged by periodicity, which allowed them to presume elements before they were actually able to be synthesized in a lab. It's arranged by periodicity, you motherfucker.
at MIT and Harvard and Yale will all have to come here to Uganda and to the University of Uganda in order to be able...
Green guy with a $1 tip says, I don't get rich people doing stuff like this. If I had $10 million at 4% interest, it's like $400K, live off half, reinvest the rest, travel the world, but the rich just like to try to be the center stage. Crazy. In this case, I think he actually is delusional, so a little bit different scenario. But I'd agree. I don't understand people who theoretically could just enjoy their lives and choose instead not to. Very strange and very sad.
Able to teach or learn about this new geometry. With your permission, I would love for him to be able to bring 2 of these over to you.
Okay.
Which is, can you take these over to... Will he be able to see from here?
These are so dumb.
I don't know how well you can see this,
I can see very well.
We 3D printed these things. Is this science?
This is the geometry of hydrogen. It ends up creating 6 pentagons. So you should take both because I'll be able to demonstrate from here as well, but he can see them bonding. By putting them together.
One molecule?
That's one atom.
One atom.
When 2 of them come together, they make the first molecule.
Okay.
Which
they are bonded together by their own...
Yes, well, we put magnets on it.
Oh, this is very interesting.
We put magnets on it.
Thank you so much. So, I give you land. How much land do you need?
Oh my God. Can I catch my breath?
I read her book and I was love her book. So I wanted to give that to her. I heard that you
Gift bag. Jesus Christ, Terrence. What are we doing, man? Please stop.
It removes the parasites from your system, like using oil of oregano instead of using antibiotics.
No!
Have you felt an effect? I used to have really thick, dark circles under my eyes. That's gone away in the last 6 months I've been using that. My skin, I'm 55 years old, and I smoke. Do I look like I'm 55 years old?
Yeah, you do. You look like a wealthy 55-year-old, but you do look 55.
No, you look great. I was 256 pounds. You look about 15 years younger. It removes the parasites from your system.
Jesus Christ. So tired. So tired.
Of the kingdom.
Culture is very diverse in Africa.
And the people they informed the king about the essence of his maiden trip to the Pearl of Africa.
That I want to share with Africa so that they are the very first. The technology that we were bringing was so that Africa would be first and would give to the world and have the opportunity to grow. That's what's been missing. We've always been the center of the world and became everyone's point. As far as you want to advance something, bring somebody black into your sport. It's going to be advanced. You want your business to grow, bring someone of color into that place, and they're going to work extra hard. But we've never received the tools so that we can participate on the world stage, and that's what I want to talk about.
The Queen Mother hailed Terrence for tracing his origin.
You are not far from us, although you are American. But you are an African. Yes. And why can't you come back to Africa? And build a beautiful country like Uganda and the Pearl of Africa.
The king's message to the visitors was received by enthusiasm.
First of all, it's an honor to host a very influential person like you here in the Kingdom of Toro.
He's not that influential! He got kicked out of the Marvel franchise after one fucking movie.
Actually got to know of.
He was in Hustle and Flow. What is he? What's the most recent big movie he's been in? He was in a series semi-recently, I think. But like, is he that influential?
Mr. Terrence Howard through the series Empire. So when the word got out that you were here in Uganda, I was very, very much excited in meeting you and your dear wife. But it's an honor to have you here. We are into so many different projects here. Healthcare is on top there, education, tourism, agriculture, promoting, as well as also promoting and protecting our culture as well as Batoro.
Earlier, the jury Terrence.
Green guy with the $1 tip says, I started taking this supplement, now I look different, means I was sick, right? No, B, now you're sick. That's why you look different. I mean, he might have gotten better for some other reason. It's entirely possible he just started being healthier.
Cut joked about his name.
I don't know my name.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr. played OJ in that OJ thing, which was all right.
Again, I'm here and asking for a name.
The king later accorded him a rally as a pet name at a cultural ritual presided over by the king himself. His wife too received a worry as a pet name by the king as well.
I have given you the pet name of Avon.
In an interview shortly after the visit, Terrence reiterated his love for Uganda and investing in it.
And the potential of the children here. I see 3- and 4-year-old kids going down busy streets that I would be, my kids wouldn't even know how to go up to the corner of it. And I'm like, wow, I've taken not given my children the opportunity to grow like the children of Africa, the children of Uganda, the children of the Kingdom of Torah. I have not given them the opportunity to see the world and experience this, because this is what we need.
Minister Frank
What?
was equally notes that regardless of any public criticism, Uganda will continue welcoming such opportunities.
So when we get people who love our country,
coming here genuinely, organically, not hired, like Terrence Howard, just coming here out of love to explore our country. It's a great achievement for our country. And I really appeal to all Ugandans, irrespective of our small other differences, to be united by such things.
Robert Onyango and Sharon Chomugisha for UBC News.
How old is that video? That is from 2 years ago, roughly. I hope he's getting help for this, because when's the last time he did something like this? Hold on. Let me actually look. What's the most recent Terrence Howard news? 9 months ago, he was crazy on the Joe Rogan Experience. Oh, 3 months ago, it looks like he was on something.
Ace Ether.
Oh, that sucks. So he's still on this crap.
To be a man of integrity.
Yeah.
You know, I only hang out with people that have integrity. Like used to have friends before, and they would cheat on their wives. And I'm like, how can I be a friend with you? How can I expect you to have any fidelity with our friendship when you stood in a room in a church?
Talk about
in
the
front
science.
Of your focused on the women more than the meeting, then I realized I can't do business with that person.
No, and this great skunk-like, musk-like cologne on, and he was a man of integrity. Father's friend, he don't on for buying that. All the other things opened.
It just unfolded.
So
That's
the
in the book
Bible
of
did play a
Revelations.
part with that. My father's desire to seek truth had a big part in that.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
yeah,
I know that
Billy Carson we've covered once or twice on Tinfoil Tuesday. He's a big, big grifter.
you mentioned before on a few podcasts that, your journey in quantum physics really began with yourself.
Yeah.
He does a lot of conspirituality content.
And how does one begin? And I'm in the same boat as you, obviously, but I want other people to hear, like, what was your journey in learning quantum physics?
Well,
he didn't. He doesn't know quantum physics.
You hear these stories about Einstein or these great inventors or physicists, but then the information and the theories that they present are contradictory to each other.
What?
And I was like, how are these things making any kind of progress or attempting to assist progress into advancing any math or any technology if they are all in conflict? And I kept waiting. I thought by the time I got 30 or 40,
What's with the hood and the hat? I don't know. Maybe he thinks he's starting a trend.
all of these, whether string theory was real or not, it would be proven, or whether relativity was real or not. I was like, Einstein never received a Nobel Prize except for his work on the photoelectric effect.
Okay, does that matter? I don't know if you know this, a Nobel Prize isn't the litmus test for whether or not what you did was correct.
And that was Max Planck's work.
Right.
That he was just verifying, but Einstein didn't get none of his stuff really came to full fruition.
What?
But he's still considered as this prop placed up by science, but I couldn't get any understanding from that. So
Wow, he's frustrating as fuck to listen to. I'm sorry. That's just real rough. That's real rough to me. Anything more recent from Terrence before we end for the night? Probably not. What?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Was later about who has already offered that program. And sorry, I just realized I was.
This is people watching him doing the thing. And also, I think one of those people watches my channel. That's cool. Small world. Small internet.
Multiplication, where Terrence has an issue with multiplication. But to the best of my knowledge, you don't have an issue with addition.
I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with multiplication either.
Well, then one times one is what?
1 times 1 should equal 2. And action times an action. If you can show me
They're
one
not actions! They're not actions! They're numbers! They're numbers!
place in the universe.
But you just shifted.
No. Show me one place in the universe
one natural observable phenomenon where 1 times 1 equals 1, where an action time...
Okay. I have one magnifying glass. I have this magnifying glass once. I have one of these. It is one magnifying glass once. 1 times 1 equals 1. Because it's one thing, one time. Okay, second example. I have 2 magnifying glasses. I have 2 magnifying glasses one time. 2 times 1 equals 2. 1 times 1. 1. 2 times 1. 2. I can't go higher than that. I only have 2 magnifying glasses.
Times an action doesn't have a reaction.
So then you just went into some... There's a concept called logomachy, which is arguing over words. And what you want is not to be caught. If I can beat you in a word game, or you can beat me in a word...
You can beat me in a word game. I didn't go to MIT. You can beat me in a word game.
By the way, I heard you with B.B. King, where he was having trouble improvising on the spot, and your mind just rescued him.
Yes, I'm going to raid Canadian Girlfriend on Twitch.
With a
I know yesterday she had some tech issues, but they should be worked out today.
I really appreciate that, because he's one of my favorites.
Yeah, he invited me to do it.
Multiplication, where Terrence has an issue with multiplication.
But the glass magnifies the number. You're so funny. All right. I think we're probably done for the day. Let's do that raid. Thank you everyone so much for hanging out today and watching weird scams. Like I said, I'm working tomorrow, so I can't do Tinfoil Tuesday, unfortunately. However, we will be doing Tinfoil Wednesday, or Tinfoil Birthday, because Wednesday is my birthday. So we will be doing a full Tinfoil stream on Wednesday. It will be earlier in the day than typical, so it might be at noon or 1 or maybe even 2 Eastern. But if you can't catch it live, you can always watch the VOD, just because I want to have, you know, an evening of my birthday to just hang out and watch movie stuff. So, cool beans. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Appreciate you. Let's raid your Canadian Girlfriend. Is there underscores between them? Canadian. There we go. All right. Have a great night, everyone. And I'll see you Wednesday. Bye, everyone. I don't know why that's stuck in my head. All right. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.